Well, hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Loot, Die, Repeat, where a bunch of us Scrooges, we'll be Scrooge tonight, get together and we roll some dice, we do a lot of laughing at each other, and we do some collaborative storytelling known as Dungeons and Dragons. And we appreciate you being here, taking part in this little production with us as we tell a fun little story about a fantasy world and saving the world, fighting bad guys, and all that stuff. So it's a good time. If you'd like to watch any of our past episodes, they're all up on YouTube. We'd certainly appreciate if you would consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, which of course is free, and following us here if you're watching us on Twitch. And it is tremendously helpful if you would also consider subscribing to us here on Twitch. You can please be active in the chat as you are here on Twitch with us, as the majority of our players here are going to be active in the chat as we play the game. And so you can tell us what you're thinking, laugh at us. We like that. We will laugh at us with you. So it is a good time. We'll laugh at ourselves, basically, with them. And you can affect the outcome of the game by donating bits. And for 100 bits, you can give advantage to any of the players. For 500 bits, you can give disadvantage to the DM. That's me. And for 1,000 bits, you can purchase a potion, which will materialize somewhere in the world, in the field of play for them to find and utilize. So your impact on the game is significant. And for a subscription, that also gets you a DM disadvantage, I think, is what we said, because it's basically about the same as 500 bits. So subscription gets you a DM disadvantage, or you can give advantage to 5 players, because it's equivalent value. All right, and in addition to that, we also have some fun chat commands. I don't know if they're active yet, but you can type in !! commands. And you can see all the different commands that are going on. And for those of you watching on Twitch, we have giveaways every single week. And this week, we have 3 giveaways that we're going to do. The first is going to be a orc zombie and a hobgoblin. Second is going to be a monk and a dwarf pair. And the third, because we got enough new subscribers, is going to be this black dragon. So we'll give away this black dragon.
That one's coming out tonight? It is?
Yeah, we're going to give that.
Sweet.
We'll give the black dragon away tonight. And we certainly wish you the best in winning that. Open to those in the US and Canada, excluding Quebec, because that is just their laws over there. So when the time comes, we'll tell you the word to type into chat one time, and then we will randomly choose the winner. So we are hopeful that you can stick around for that. We will kind of intersperse those 3 giveaways throughout the evening. All right, well, as you can see, we are sadly missing our bard once more, though fear not, he should be back next week to sing his songs and tell his jokes and get drunk, you know, what bards do. And we also are without our hobgoblin samurai tonight, as well, as he unfortunately was sick. He got sick and despite his best efforts could not get over it in time. So we will miss you guys, and we hope to see you both next week. So without further ado, we are going to jump into our episode of Loot, Die, Repeat.
Ba-da-ba-dum-bum-bum.
And
so
we begin.
sad.
Yeah,
It really is.
It really is.
Not the same without our theme song.
It's
You
really
said
not.
subscriptions count as a DM, disadvantage to the DM?
Yeah, for new subscribers.
You got one.
The real plot is
What
when
about
we can
gifted
get.
ones?
Gifted ones are a disadvantage.
And you've got one.
Thank you for the gifted subscription and the disadvantage for the players.
DM.
Choose against me.
That would be a plot twist, though. Disadvantage for the players. I feel like you would be buying a whole lot of them.
I would know exactly.
Who just purchased $30,000 worth of bits? Who's LDR DM?
Every roll, disadvantage.
That would be ridiculous.
That would be
Ridiculously fun.
yeah, for you.
Actually, it kind of would be fun.
All right, well, we begin with a little recap so we can catch you up on what has been going on. And our adventurers, the ragtag gang of heroes known as the Revengers, have been sent on a quest into the Mare of Dead Men after having dealt with significant turmoil in and around Amphale, have followed the Raven Queen's directions into the Mare, and after going through a series of encounters with ghosts and lizard men and undead, they came upon the decrepit ruins of the Temple of Shantea. After having defeated the Guardian to get into the temple and harvesting its blood so that they can unlock the portal gate that is at the threshold of the Mare, the adventurers discerned how to make their way into the temple, where they came across the keeper of the cursed tree that they had been sent to destroy. And they quickly realized that the keeper of the tree had gone insane over the multiple centuries that he has been kept alive against his will to tend to this cursed tree. And as they tried to free the caretaker of the tree, he was very thoroughly shocked to death.
Who did that?
Being watched by his daughter, who is now a ghost, though at the time she was unaware of her death, which of course didn't make his daughter very happy. And as they watched the body of the caretaker being pulled into the fane of the temple, the adventurers rushed in and fought the guardians of the tree, a wraith banshee hybrid alongside of a vicious bone claw. And after nearly losing several of their party members, the Revengers ultimately emerged victorious, killing the two guardians, burning the tree to its roots, and cleansing the temple of this desecration that had been groomed at the heart of the altar there to Shantea. And as the action died down, our adventurers have kind of surveyed the temple. Our warlock Wolfram went down into the Undercroft and there found a very unique necklace that gave him a vision of 5 deities, one of them being his very patron, that, well, seemed to be significant, as these 5 deities seemed to be aligned and working towards a common goal. And as he emerged from the Undercroft, the rest of the party is wandering around, evaluating the aftermath of the battle before they are about to head out of the temple and reconvene to determine what to do and to where to go from here. So it is here at this point that we pick up with our episode tonight. So, Revengers, tell me what you're doing.
You're outside of the room, right?
Technically, I'm out. Yes, I'm right outside the door.
Okay. We're all still inside,
You're still
and
inside.
he's underneath.
He's underneath.
I'm with him underneath.
You're okay. Hey, we may want to get out before the doors close again. What are you doing down there? What'd you find? Wolfie, what'd you find?
I don't know how well I can hear you. I'm swimming up from the water. So I emerged from the water with Yanni.
I thought it was only knee deep, but okay.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's it,
I don't remember either.
You just start doggy paddling once it gets.
Just walking in the water on my knees.
Hey, we gotta.
Wolfram says, "We're done here. We've got everything we need."
All right, let's pick up the
Wide
body.
eyes to
Leave.
Yanni.
Yeah. What'd you find? What happened out there?
Well, I was gifted this.
Oh,
Do you recognize?
nope.
Well, my patron is right here. The Raven Queen. And I think that the rest are also divine.
Interesting.
Yes. And it wasn't just given to me. They revealed themselves. They kept their clothes on.
Well, I
mind
was
you.
gonna say.
They kept their clothes on.
This is PG around here.
Except this one. She was almost naked already. But, it seems that we did right. Whatever we just did. Because they are pleased.
Interesting.
Can I?
Do you know these four?
No. I don't have much use for gods. They never were part of my life.
I mean,
Us storm giants. You know, we got our big man, but we lived so long, or our ancestors lived so long that gods aren't. We essentially, we've arm wrestled a couple gods, and I think we've won. Let's just put it that way.
Well, throughout my life, it hasn't been so peachy keen, so I don't know why I would have needed to acknowledge any sort of god.
I don't know,
Right?
Yeah.
But it seems as though they're acknowledging us currently. Makes you think.
How so?
Well, this.
I
And
mean,
they showed themselves to me. Specifically acknowledging our current actions.
did they say anything? Like, hey, I'm a god. You should believe in me.
No, I think gods will probably be a little more subtle than that.
Oh, okay.
At least first appearance. I believe that there was many of the same gods that are worshipped in Waterdeep. Tyr and Selune and Pelor and those guys. Well, this is particular is a Shantea temple. Yes, we learned that. She was there. We're probably walking around.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're coming
Yeah.
around.
By this
okay.
time, they've emerged, and you're hearing this conversation.
yeah.
If anyone else cares to pipe up.
As we come around, I say all five of those names
What would my knowledge be of them?
while
As-
holding the
Roll a religion check, please.
I feel like you gotta have a negative religion.
I think I do.
That's intelligence based, so he's
Oh, no, I'm plus
he's
one.
got plus.
16.
You have heard of all of them, and you are aware that Pelor, also referred to as Lathander in certain parts of the world, is the god of light and of renewal, new beginnings, of life. Shantea is the goddess of the earth and of bounty and harvest. Selune is the goddess of the moon and of peace and kind of comfort. Tyr is the god of justice. And the Raven Queen, who is the patron of Wolfram, is not held in the same esteem by most people as those other four. Those other four are like primary deities. The Raven Queen is a goddess, but she always seems to kind of be overlooked because she's the goddess of death, not in the sense of kind of macabre and grisly, but more like the one who shepherds you to the afterlife and makes sure that your soul is getting to where it needs to be.
But Davy Jones was supposed to be until he turned into the Octopus Man.
Yes, exactly.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Solid,
I'm-
solid
Okay.
Pirates of
I'm
the
with you.
Caribbean.
It took me a quick second, but
So you are familiar with all 5 of those gods, not ever having given them
a second.
any thought. You just, in your education, which your mother was very thorough, you are familiar with the pantheon.
And so I think that they are. Well, I know I was sent here by one of them, and the rest of them were there with her, and it seems we're on the right path.
Did you say that the Raven Queen was with the other gods in your vision?
Well, yes. Why do you doubt this?
I mean, you know, Aelor's up here, and
It's all part of the circle of life, though.
I guess.
And it moves us all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boo.
I've never
Oh, also
never thought of her as in league with them. You know, she's powerful and she's a patron, but that's interesting.
Yes, well, as Zola says, the overall order of things, if there's one link missing in the entirety of it all goes out of whack, yes? Perhaps the mission of the Raven Queen to, as they say, transport the dead and take care of that portion, if it weren't taken care of, could light shine with... I point to the dead girl here. With this all over the place?
Well,
She is, by the way, still kneeling next to the still lifeless form of her emaciated Furbolg father. And she is not really paying you heed. Her head is kind of down, and her undead eyes have an even more lifeless stare to them as she just kind of sits still, clearly pondering the reality of the man who she was waiting for hundreds of years to watch the sunrise with.
My point is, as I look at everyone, I saw the 5, and I was sent here by one of them, to you guys by one of them, and they were pleased with what we just accomplished.
yeah.
I think Sol was right. I mean, these gods and the Raven Queen, what we did here. I mean,
You mean these gods?
these gods.
End of
Sorry.
states.
So-
Okay,
sorry,
alright.
sorry.
Okay.
What we just did kind of completed that circle of life. I know it's silly, but I mean that is the natural order of things is life and death and life and death and life and death and life and death
I
and
get it.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry.
And what was after the next one? I'm sorry.
Life and death.
And what's after that one?
I mean you get it.
I don't think I do. I'm sorry.
There's
one
lots-
more time.
The cycle of
She's hitting on you.
Oh.
Play along.
oh, it's life and death,
Oh, okay. Thank you.
and you make life well worth it.
As you're having this
Edit
conversation,
that in post-editing, right?
as you're having this conversation about the
We'll put it
cycle
on
of
screen.
life and the circle of life, you hear Heather speak up. And she kind of lifts her head as she's... What you thought was her not paying attention, clearly she's been listening. And with her kind of 6-year-old understanding in mind, she looks at you, Yanni, and she says, "Yeah, but if there's a cycle, why am I here? I died, but I'm not dead. Dad's dead, but you said he's alive. Doesn't make sense."
Well,
Good luck there. I pat him on
Is-
the shoulder and I step back.
uh,
As the great System of a Down once said, disorder, disorder.
well, I don't know why. I still don't know a lot about Paincursed. So to answer that. I don't know what your dad is and why he is still alive even after dying, like Eli says, like they say. That to me that's unnatural, and the world is broken, and so there are things that will happen that aren't part of the natural cycle.
But if the world's broken, how are you gonna fix it?
Well, we started with burning down that tree.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was an unnatural tree. And it looks like... Do I know? Real quick. Kinshasa's name was said. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was.
It was. It was said to...
More.
It was
Somebody-
said. It was said to Sola in her
Oh yeah, and she.
monologue, mind link conversation,
I asked her about it.
and then Sola did express a name that kind of sounded like Kinshasa to you. Yeah.
So, that tree was unnatural. It produced fruit. We think that was unnatural. That was a part of the pain curse process, maybe? I don't know. But righting the wrongs started with burning down that tree.
So-
And your dad will come back. He's not dead.
My dad lived for a really long time and is hopefully still alive, but all he ever taught me was that we can do good in the situation that we're in. So that's what we're trying to do, is put back the broken pieces. And part of that was this tree that was causing all of this death and decay to just continue to happen with no life or rebirth or anything happening. So that's why we're here, is to step in and do good instead of just let it continue to happen.
You can see that the gears are turning in her head, and she's trying to follow, trying to understand. With her 6-year-old intellect, she's not quite sure what to make of all of it. She just
Heather.
kind of pauses.
Do you believe in magic?
Yeah.
Well, you're not dead because the thought of you and your father watching the sunrise has so much magic in it that it's keeping you here tied to this earth until you see it happen. And your father is dead and then coming back because his body has magic in it as well. And you guys will be reunited one day. Believe us.
So, are we gonna finally get to watch the sunrise?
Yes.
Let's not make promises there.
We know he's coming back in 3 days.
Yeah, they may not get a sunrise though.
Why would they not?
Well, remember the letter we got at the
We can
tipped over
wait
tower?
3 days.
3 days for an undying and a ghost girl where the rest of the world could be spinning into chaos?
Yes. Isn't it enough to save one soul?
That soul's dead.
That soul is still alive in this earth. Non-earth. What is it called?
The name of the world you're in is Toriel. The continent that you're on is Faerun. And the area of that continent in which you inhabit is the Sword Coast.
Okay, I'm gonna forget that in like 2 seconds.
I
Just-
already don't remember it.
Toriel. Isn't this one soul letting her lie to rest important enough? Meaningful to this father and to this little girl?
Do you know that watching a sunrise is going to let her soul lie to rest? How
No.
much ghost slaying have you done in your time?
But if we let her watch the sunrise, and then if this bartender is gonna kill him, then she may never see her father again. We're stepped aside. She doesn't hear any of this.
Okay.
Quick save.
So that's something we do need to talk about, and we should probably get the heck out of this room before the doors close again. So
Guys,
Fair
the
enough.
incense are almost gone. You better hurry up.
Yaga, can you pick up the body and let's take him outside? Heather, follow us.
Right away.
So we walk out.
There's nothing else special in here?
Go ahead and make an investigation check. As you proceed through the room, you do notice that there is, by the what looks to be a sort of a prayer chamber, or a kind of a feastal hall for ceremonial feasts. There are in one corner what looks to be a little shrine set up. So as you go over and investigate that, what's your investigation?
18.
There are two things that catch your eye. One, in the midst of all of this decay, and in the midst of all of this unlife, for lack of a better term, because the tree has kind of sucked all of the energy up and left it in a dead, deathly state. You do find one bag on a little pedestal in the middle of this shrine, and the bag is leather with what look to be kind of hemp straps that are intertwined through it, and there's stylings of vines all around it with beans coming out. And as you look inside, you see that there is a bag that has 7 beans inside of it.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Oh, it's even better than that.
Oh, beans.
As you pick the bag up and look at it, you find underneath it, which was being hidden by the bag of beans, a stone that is emanating a soft blue glow, and there are wisps of cold kind of flowing off of it, like cold, dry ice, where the just kind of like emanates down, and it's just kind of thrumming with elemental power as it is just sitting underneath this bag.
Why'd somebody leave a weird bag of beans in here?
I pick these up.
You do notice that both of them are magical.
Alright, so then... Okay.
And as you pick them up, you hear Morthos saying that the incense is burning low, and you all make your way to the outside of the temple. And as you do, about a minute later, the incense expires in the 4 pagodas, one by one, and as the last one goes out, the doors seal shut.
Guess we're not going back in there.
What time of day is it now?
It is night. It is dark. It's about 9-10 p.m. as you guys have kind of taken on these guardians and then thoroughly investigated the temple and now made your way out.
Hey, Nature Boy.
Oh,
Nature Boy, I've got a
Yep.
bag of beans here.
a bag of beans.
Seem pretty special. It's a gift from one of those gods, I presume.
Let me see.
Check it out. I have no use for beans.
As soon as you pick up the bag and you see the vine imagery on it, it immediately makes you think of one of your stories. That story being Jack and the Beanstalk.
This is a gem.
So, Eli,
Yeah.
if you don't want to wait here for 3 days, can we just take her along with us until he arises?
So here's the thing with ghosts. They're usually bound to a location.
So she will not be able to leave this place.
You know that she has been able to travel around the Mare of Dead Men, but there's obviously been no attempt to go outside the bounds of the Mare. Eli, roll a history check.
Unnatural 20.
You, in your monster slaying days with Orion's Pride, which was the name of your group,
Okay. It's news to me.
well, it kind of emerged into that.
Yeah.
You do recall that most of the undead forces that you fought were either bound to or had a predisposition to stay near the place where they died or where they met their end. There was a tie there.
Right.
So generally speaking, undead aren't free to roam where they wish outside of liches and things like that. So your expectation is that the ghosts of the Mare of Dead Men, this death-filled swamp, are most likely either tied or compelled to stay within the bounds of the swamp.
So I explained that, and they can't leave, typically. We might get lucky and find, if it's something binding them, we might be able to pick it up and move it. But if it's this place where she met an untimely death,
Or the tower itself.
we can't do anything about that.
Even if we make her corporeal with the axe?
Corporeal? Well, one, we'd have to strike her with an axe.
Lightly with a paper cut.
Okay? You try telling that to a 6-year-old. So there's that.
Hold down screaming kids and
and-
perform studies on them all day.
I believe
It's my
that
job.
the axe only works for about 10 seconds.
Right.
Oh.
Secondly,
6 seconds.
6 seconds.
Have you ever
It was
heard
close.
of tough love?
tough. That's beyond tough.
But we would need it longer for 6 seconds.
There are abominations about. No offense, Eli. And we need to take care of these
What's that supposed to mean?
abominations. Back to, well, you're cursed, yes? Would you presume that a curse is not an abomination?
It is unnatural. Like we just explained it.
But you know, I'm here for
The
a reason.
undead? Oh,
I'm not undead.
I'm not saying that the universe cannot use that which is an abomination for the betterment of itself, which may be your role.
I really don't like that terminology you're using.
And
Okay.
I would be very careful with your tone, old man. It almost sounds like you have an issue with him.
And
No.
I look up at Yanni too, like, I don't like where you're coming with that either.
No,
I don't have an issue.
all I'm saying is these two, pointing to the father and the ghost, are not meant to be here. We were sent here for a reason, to clear the tree
Which we
and
did.
free these two.
So,
The only way to free these two is to remove the curse and send them on their way.
How could
Do-
we... Go ahead.
sorry, in his rambling, before she mind linked, did we hear him say anything about wanting to die?
Yes.
Multiple times he asked to die.
Okay.
In the midst of also
Being starved
hoping
death.
to be freed.
Right.
Right.
So it was
Yeah, and that,
a back and forth. He longed for his daughter, and when he saw her, he broke down. And it was in the midst of that breakdown that Morthos took the opportunity to
To kill him. Not intentional.
to unstrap his manacles on his ankles,
Right.
which shocked him to death.
You unintentionally get kills, and this guy
I know.
can't get one.
No,
on
isn't that
purpose.
funny?
So Morthos, listen, I'm not saying these things to offend anyone. Someone created a curse. Yes, and infected people. There's only one way to remove the curse that we know of, right?
That is
To
correct.
remove heads, yes?
Yes.
And someone who is cursed must remove heads, yes? I'm
Sure.
saying he is the hand of the gods in doing this. Doesn't change the fact that he's cursed, and he is still the same as the rest. Let's be honest.
I think old man's got a point.
I love you.
I don't. Yeah, we don't. I don't have an issue with you.
I'm
with
going
who
to
you
die as
are.
well.
So it's
With what you are.
So just
it's not you.
Yeah.
It's you.
just everything about it. Yeah, got
I
it.
don't have an issue.
No. Yeah, keep digging. Yeah.
So, are you proposing that Eli
At some point,
takes care of this man?
I think
Absolutely.
that would put things back
Yes, but
into the
who
cycle.
are we to be judge and executioner?
We are not, but I hold up the medallion. But these five seem to think otherwise.
Did they tell
And he
you
was-
specifically to kill him?
Oh, one of
But
them.
wasn't he
basically
rambling
did
about
years
wanting
ago.
to die? I mean, this guy's been here alone for how long? Maybe he
He-
wants.
You say he wants to die,
But his mind.
but he is not of sane mind.
He was also being starved to death. Who wouldn't want to die after 40 days of no food? He should have a say in if he wants to die or not. And could you imagine us taking him alive without his daughter, we promising his daughter before he died, and then waking up? Do you understand how...
He's not 40
we're talking
years
about
old.
killing him
He's
now or
several
later?
hundred
Is that
years
what we're talking
old.
about?
It's kind of what it sounds like.
I think I'm okay to wait, but I think at some point death needs to come to us all.
I think that should be his own option, though. Shouldn't that be his choice? Maybe he wants
No.
to join his daughter.
No. Should not be his choice.
So
But it's your choice.
It is
first.
none of our choices.
here's the thing, though. He won't join his daughter.
Ever.
How do you know?
She's going to remain a ghost. He's going to materialize in the dust.
But the other ghosts were able to be ushered into...
Where did you see that?
We saw it when the tree burned. The Raven
we
Queen-
saw that down in the.
Wolfram and
Oh.
Yanni did see a...
I have hope! Gosh dang it, I have hope that she will not be a ghost.
Why can them not reaching their ultimate goal be hopeful? In death.
So
I'm saying in death, but let him choose death with his daughter instead of just blindly giving it to him. How is that
I would
justice?
love to choose my own death time.
Well, you can!
No.
Wait,
Here's a sword!
Wait. So what we're saying here is we definitely aren't taking him back to Artemia.
I
Can we
didn't
take
think
that
that
off the
was-
table?
That should not even be an option.
All right.
I do not want to help her.
So our plan is either
that-
let him live or I kill him.
I think maybe you should ask Palor or someone.
I
what
think
they
we
will
should
you to
wait
do.
until he wakes up, let him have the sunrise with his daughter, and then offer death if he wants to be
and then you
released.
kill them both.
Well, Heather will hopefully be passed with his father.
Austin said that, not Yanni.
Oh.
I don't know if that hope is founded on anything.
At least let's not... How will Heather ever have rest?
What harm is it going to do to let him wake up? He's obviously weak. There's no muscles. He's not going to hurt anything.
No, I agree with you, but here's the thing. We are so close to the vision that Ice Spire is spitting distance away. I'm pointing off in the distance. I'm assuming it's somewhat visible.
Yeah, so for the sake of direction, you guys are... This is the north of the Mare of Dead Men here. You guys are
You're talking about your vision.
further south. The high road goes up around it and then goes over to the mining town of Phandalin. Ice Spire is further up in the Sword Mountains.
Okay.
So from where you are, you can see the Sword Mountains off in the distance.
Right.
It's hard to tell the exact peak, but
I'm
you certainly can
making
point.
a point.
Yeah.
So
Eli.
Yeah.
we are so close.
Yes.
We can't.
If we get caught up in the big picture of things all the time, though, what difference are we really making for those who are
How long?
right in front of us?
Where are we going next?
Oh,
What was that?
I don't know.
I broke the pen.
I hear what you're saying, but Palor said, "Go to Ice Spire." We are right there.
All right. So Ice Spire is many days yet. No.
Right. Probably
so
2 to 3.
Let us bring him with us.
But then Heather can't come along.
I understand that, but she is a ghost. I honestly do not care. She can wait here or go as far as she can.
How long will it take to get out of the Mirror of Dead Men? How far away are we from the border?
It'll take you about a half a day just to get back out, and then about 2.5 days from where you are to get north of the Mare of Dead Men.
So that's 3
So we
days.
travel as
So-
far as we can.
We have at least 3 days of travel before we get to anywhere.
And we're gonna rest tonight. So
Yeah.
he's gonna
Got 2
come
days.
back along the trip.
We do not lose any time if we just take him with us. Yanni can carry him. I
I'm
am
okay
sure.
with that, but to your credit, I understand what you're saying as well. You don't care about the ghost. She does.
Well,
It is a ghost. I honestly did.
what if we travel until she can't go any further, and then we see at what
would
time
be
we are
super
there?
Pissed.
Morthos, as you're saying this, Heather she's sitting
Poofs next
over
to your
the
shoulder.
dead body of her father, and she kind of turns, and her form just kind of floats up to you, and she just looks at you, Just so, yeah. I'm a ghost, yeah. I'm dead.
Yes,
But-
you are, Jared.
I'd like to see my dad. To watch the sun with him. Have you ever lost someone you've loved?
Didn't see that coming.
I lost a gold pouch once.
Child, I know more I've lost than you could ever understand.
And wouldn't you like to spend another moment with him? If you could?
I understand that, but your father is not sane. He is not the man that you know. It was very apparent that he needs help, that he cannot get here.
Classic diversion to the question.
But he's still my dad.
I understand that, but if you truly want to have that sunrise or sunset with your father, you must let us take him away so that we can heal his mind.
Roll
Are
persuasion.
you trying to pull a
Or
Grace here?
deception. I don't care.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. Take it back to my workshop and bring it back here.
That'd be at 26.
How? How are you gonna heal him?
There are towns to the north, which we have to head that way anyway. And
Like this.
I am not.
Wolfram, stop.
I grew up not too far from here, and I know that there are healers in these towns that we can talk to try to heal your father's mind.
So you promise me? You promise me you'll bring him back? With sound mind?
I promise you. We will bring him back with sound mind.
Do it.
Alright. I trust you.
Oh, no. Mother, you do not want to be haunted. I can tell you that. But just
We all heard
let
that?
me tell you from
Yeah, you all heard it.
experience.
Can Hoppers, if some person is behind, we could always reconnect with you quickly via the hopper, correct?
Oh.
You would need dragon's blood, I believe.
He has to be the one to activate the jump.
How about this? I'll stay at the edge of the Mirror of Dead Man with the father and the girl. Let them have their day. You guys can continue on. At the end of the day 3, you pour dragon's blood in the hopper. I'll hold on to the dad and we'll hop right to where you are.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It does not work.
Listen,
You have to be within the same.
We could go back and activate the portal
Yes, actually.
now
No.
and have her wait at the portal
Can we sleep first and do that in the morning?
and then leave, and we could go back to that particular one.
Well,
and
if
we're
we go
done.
back to the portal, that's more time too, right? In the Mirror of Deadman.
So the portal is on the way out of the Mirror of Dead Men. You will be passing by it as you exit.
I vote we just wait 3 days.
I agree with Eli. We do not have the time to just sit here for 3 days. There's too much at stake to waste 3 days for one man or one girl.
Abominations.
Again, can we use a different term?
A natural
don't-
aberration.
Thesaurus stuff.
Don't go more negative. So she wants him. The promise you just made, you idiot. I love you, but you idiot.
So much love.
Is that we're going to cleanse his mind. So sitting on the border for 3 days does not cleanse his mind.
Again, it's going to take us 2 days to get to the border.
Right. Which means he's still dead for one
I
more.
don't know how to cleanse.
No, because we're going to wake up in the morning.
Okay.
That's 2.
No, that's not.
Well, you
what
said
he
it was a half a day, and then it was
Oh.
half day to the border, and 2 days to the next town.
So if you sleep here tonight,
It's 1 day.
that's going to be 8 hours,
Actually, it's not even a day.
right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to travel essentially throughout the day to get out of the swamp.
Which is where Heather would have to stop, is what we're guessing.
Yeah. And then from there, it's basically 2 days to get out of the swampiest of the land when you're skirting along the outside of it, and it opens up more. So you basically get to on the map here. You get in 2 days. You get to Lylon.
Okay.
Listen, I've seen you guys forget to activate portals before.
Yeah, we're gonna do that
Okay.
when
let's
we
do it.
wake up. When we wake
Speaking
up.
of which, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
We need to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk more in the morning then. Let's sleep on it.
Can I get that book first? I'll look at it while I rest.
What book?
Oh, Vinny's old book. Remember?
I reach into I think I have some form of bag.
You have a bag of holding.
So I pull that out.
Yep.
What do you...
Lots to study in this book. It's special. For a person of my tastes.
Vincent's book?
Yes.
There were doodles and stick figures in here. Like right
Also,
here.
some spells I could use.
And Trogdor.
It has a special ability. I'm going to see if I can use it with my Book of Shadows. No, that's all, yes. It will help us as a party.
Yeah, alright. I don't care. Here.
Well, thank you very much.
As they're doing that, I'm gonna take my globe out and kind of go off into just somewhere by myself, and start to look at the Jack and the Beanstalk story, and be pretty visibly, one, confused, and two, saddened by these beans.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go do that.
Okay, so as you're looking at the Jack and the Beanstalk story, Jack is now you.
What? Your name's Yanni, though.
The story is told the same, but the pictures that are illustrating the story, it's you. And your friends. Which
Is the
just...
ghost girl in there as well?
She is not.
I like detestation best.
I was thinking nuisance.
All right.
Evil horror.
That's a good one, too.
As you guys are settling down to take your rest, the hopper begins to glow. And correspondingly, Jaga and Kildrick's necklaces
I gave Jacques
Do I see it glow? Do I see it glow?
that you see.
Oh, no, not again, not again!
And so you look down, yours is not glowing. You look over, theirs are there. They both kind of have this reserved look. They look at each other. They look at each other, and Zeus kind of perks up, and Kildrick pets him on the boy and says, "It's all right, boy. We're going for a little..." And the reality bends around Kildrick, Jaga, and Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
And as the space around them kind of flexes out and then snaps back in, they're gone in a flash.
You know, I've never seen it from this side before.
That's pretty weird.
Right? They were there and then just gone.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I wonder where they went.
I don't know. Maybe.
Where did you go again? Out east, right?
Yeah, way out east in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big treasure out there. I hear. Morthos.
I know.
I could taste it.
So you all go to bed for the evening. You all take your long rest.
Yeah.
Wolfram, congratulations. You have a vision. As you are reading through Vincent's book, which you know is a special spell book of endurance, and it has many ritual spells in particular which are useful to your Book of Shadows. You're thinking about the pact that you've made with the Raven Queen, and it's with those thoughts that you kind of drift to sleep. And as the shadows take you, you find yourself still lucid as the world around you fades, but you still are shrouded in shadow. And you sit up, uncomfortable by this, and as you sit up, you realize that you are no longer in front of the Temple of Shantea sleeping. You look around, and the Temple of Shantea has been replaced by what looks to be a mausoleum. This isn't a temple for bounty and harvest. This is a temple to, or rather, a tomb, a memorial of death. And the doors to the mausoleum are stylized with two downswept raven's wings. And the ornate handles that are on the doors are the kind of a profile view of a raven's head and beak as it kind of reaches down, and you feel drawn to it. And as you open it up, the mausoleum opens to dark black granite and marble designs and motifs of the Raven Queen as she is shepherding souls from the end of their life to the beginning of their afterlife, wherever their soul is destined to be. And as you are kind of looking around at the designs and the paintings and all of the iconography around you, you turn in a circle, and as you get back towards the front of the mausoleum, you stop, as standing before you, silently watching you, is a visage of the Raven Queen herself.
How close is she to me? Like, I turn around and she's right there?
She's right there.
No! Don't do that! I've told you many times.
And as always, her face is covered in a porcelain mask, a funerary mask. Her body is completely shrouded in a dark, hooded, funerary shroud, burial shroud, with flowing raven's feathers, which kind of are all affixed to it. And she kind of cocks her head to the side, and
I'm sorry. And he grabs his ring, starts playing with it, and lowers his head a little bit.
Now, child. No need to be nervous.
Why am I here?
Why,
Does Hopper do this?
why do you think you're here?
I probably did something wrong.
No. Quite the opposite, in fact. I'm here to thank you.
Finally, somebody gives me some grace. Grace.
She again kind of cocks her head to the side. The expression on her mask, of course, is a bit off-putting because it doesn't change. So you can't tell if she's amused, you can't tell if she is annoyed, you can't tell if she is, well, what her emotion is beyond the fixed expression which just kind of seemingly stares perceptively into your soul as if she misses nothing. And she looks and she peers out at you and she says, "You have done well. That cursed tree of lamentations has been dealt with. And while a lament appropriately offered is a beautiful thing, one that is forced upon a soul is an abomination."
I knew it!
I roll in my sleep.
I wish to reward you for your faithful service. Tell me, do the boons that I have given you continue to suit you?
Well, for the most part, no. Things have changed. You sent me to the right group. I feel like they are with one mind. Some of the time.
Yes, the group is interesting. We each have our champion.
Oh, if I may ask you about this medallion later, of course, that would be great. But, yes, I've come across a book that will help with some things that my eyes need no use of the boon you gave them previously for seeing magic, and some spells I've grown out of because the party has skills I do not need to show.
Huh. Well, perhaps I have an answer. Given your age, wisdom, and maturity, rather than remaining fixed in the spells that you can call forth, perhaps through some meditation you can choose each day what you would like to have prepared.
It was very useful, yes.
And as for the Eldritch Sight,
Yes.
perhaps it would be more useful to see through the solid objects around you to what may lie beyond.
Very much so.
Well then, consider my gaze to be with you, the gaze of the ghastly ghost.
Sounds excellent. More boons, please.
Well, it appears that Shantea has given you one.
What? Who's that? Oh, yes. The tree lady.
Yes, the one whose temple you cleansed.
We cleansed.
Yes.
Credit where is due, for sure. Yes. Morthos did a lot of work.
Take care of
Oh,
that.
him too.
Morthos? Yes, he is...
Tell him it's from me because he doesn't seem to like me that much.
Morthos is contested.
Oh. Thank you for that. I will not hold it over his head.
Perhaps you can help him find his way. That trinket you carry now,
Mm-hmm.
be careful with it. It holds power and the means to a greater end. Use it wisely. Before I leave you wake, do you have any questions that I can help to clarify for you?
All of them.
Well, any questions I ask you and receive an answer of, everyone else is going to say, no, that's not true. You didn't hear from her, blah, blah, blah. But, have you found my wife?
Rather than the face turning to the side, with your perception, you catch for a brief moment a downward glance. And then quickly an upturn. The soul of your wife is complicated.
Bless you.
And I assure you, should you remain on the path that you follow, there will be clarity. But I, unfortunately, am not able in my own power to resolve this situation. And this is what suits you to be my champion. For there are some things which no one divine can do by themselves.
Well, thanks for trying. Is that why for my wife, you're a part of this group? So he points the medallion up.
Oh, for your wife and many others like her. Like Heather.
Yes, Heather. What do we do with her?
You know what to do with her.
I do, but no one listens.
Ha. But perhaps a little more of that word you used before. A little more
Evil, horror, nuisance, plague, shame, torment.
grace
Oh,
alongside of the truth with which you speak.
that's very wise of you, of course. All right. Well, thank you for your blessings and boons.
You never had a child. The best way to deal with children is to love them well. And with that, her form fades. And you get the sense that she wasn't only referring to Heather with that last statement, but almost in a bit of self-reflection, how she is relating to you. And you awake.
That makes more sense.
Definitely.
Yes, because I will not be adopting any child made of ghastly abomination anyway.
That's how you wake up.
You gotta grumble as
Just
you
mumbling
wake
awake. Oh, damn kids.
So as the party wakes, some of you sleep in, some of you wake with the sun. Eli in particular, you're an early riser, especially with your reignited interest and devotion to Pelor. And as you awake to watch the rising of the sun, you are immediately aware that Heather sits next to her father, watching the sunrise as well. And if a ghost could shed tears, she would be, as she watches the sun and looks down at her father and stares back again. Unless you wish to have any conversation, the rest of you wake one by one.
I think I would walk over to Heather and kneel down, sit cross-legged next to her, and tell her everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
It's gonna work out the way it's supposed to.
well, Mortho says he's gonna make Dad better, so yeah, it will.
We're gonna try our hardest to reunite you guys. Of sound mind and body.
I know I'm dead,
Yeah.
and he's alive. So I don't know what that means, but I just want to be with him.
Heather, if we can cleanse his mind and bring him back here. And you can't leave the mayor, correct?
I don't know, I've never tried.
Well, when you walk with us today, maybe you try. But if you can't, and we bring him back, Is this the place for both of you? In a place surrounded with death and destruction and other ghosts like yourself.
It's not the place for dead.
No? Where would that be?
Go and live his life. But I don't really understand. He's dead. But you say he's not. So I don't know what that even means.
He's like me, Heather. Am I alive?
Yeah?
You will be too.
Gonna make him better?
We're gonna try.
Well, that's good. It gives me hope.
And that's what you gotta hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, haven't had that in a long time. Just me and Jupiter here. What's gonna happen to Jupiter? What's gonna happen to you, buddy?
All dogs go to heaven.
What's,
Pay attention to him.
what's heaven?
I don't know. It's just a thing I heard once.
Yeah. Dad always talked about one day passing on to the fields of Shantea. Just tending to his trees at old Jackaroo. I always thought I'd be there with him.
I've learned in the past 30 or 40 or 80, 100 years or so that all of us have a place for eternity. That sounds like a lovely place for you and your father.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Me too.
Just go back and be with Mum.
She's probably waiting for both of you there now.
Yeah, you know, I've been so focused on finding Dad. Didn't really give much thought to Mum.
You found him.
Yeah,
We can try to fix him. Maybe you can focus on Mom.
well, Mom's gone. I know that. I watched her die.
Where did she go?
Well, she got sick. And for all Dad's praying, yeah, she left us. And that's life sometimes. Yeah, it's hard. It was sad. But I had Dad. We made it. Well, and here we are now. Well, it's a pretty sunrise today. Should be good weather to make it through the swamp, yeah? You wanna wake the rest of your friends? Where'd the where'd the butt man go?
The who?
You know, the little dwarf.
Oh. He poofed away.
And the dog.
Poofed away with him.
And that scary red man.
Poofed away as well. They'll be back.
Alright, well. Shall we go?
Yeah, Wolfram, you do such a good job of waking everyone up. Why don't you wake up the late bloomers there?
There's a dragon! Everyone wake up!
Oh, dragon! Hammers in hand.
He was joking.
Oh. You did well, though. You did well.
Always have to be prepared and on your toes.
That's right.
Yep, passed test number 1.
That's right.
See that, Heather? Number 1, passed.
And make it look good. Look at his hair. Not a hair out of place.
And as Morthos gets up, I walk over to him with this gem. I say, Morthos, you know we are all misunderstood from time to time. And he hands him this gem and says, I found this inside. Perhaps you could use it for a purpose, but remember that that I care what happens with you. I do. Even if I'm screaming at you. And I walk away.
Okay, so you guys begin to make your way out of the mare. And
Towards the thing to open it up, the portal.
yep, so the road, as you recall, follows the path, and you immediately notice that the blue flames that previously dotted the landscape are gone.
Sweet.
And while you can still see bodies of the dead under the water, you don't get the sense that they're watching you like they were. It's almost as if their attention is now elsewhere. And while you still see in the distance some wisps about, there aren't nearly as many as there were. And as Heather is kind of making her way, as you follow her, you notice that she too, there's a different aura to her. Instead of being kind of a ghastly orangish blue, it's almost a green gold light that is emanating, as if something has been intrinsically changed within her. And you reach the tower again, and while there were times where you paused and saw some non-undead threats, like that Cassis lizard creature that you fought, nothing threatens you as you go, and you arrive back at the broken tower, which immediately thrums to life as you approach with your hoppers. The red light that you saw previously emanating once more as all of your hoppers, the 5 of you, all also glow red and seem to synchronize with this seal, with this jump location. And you approach knowing or believing that you have the required blood to activate it. So you take out the vial with the kingfish's blood, and as you've been instructed to do and have done once before, you pour it over the seal, and as you do so, where the blood hits right in the center, the red immediately turns to a blue color, and as the blood spreads out, the blue spreads out throughout the seal, and as the entire seal turns blue, there's a flash, and all of your necklaces immediately turn from red to blue, and they all sync, and there's a shoo, as there's a pause, and then as you do so, a projection emits from the portal itself, and you see the entirety of Toril. And you see the planet, this round spherical form with continents that you didn't even know existed. And as you kind of focus on the area where you are, you find 3 beads of blue light, one in the place where Waterdeep is, one in the place where Nightstone is, and now one in the place where the Mare of Dead Men is. Oh yeah, and Amphil. Four.
That one flickers a little bit.
That flicker. And then there it is, 4 lights, as you have Amphil, the point of light, and Amphil, and you are there with a greenish hue, and right next to the greenish hue is a very, very deep hue of blue, intertwined with the green hue. Sola, you look at your necklace, which isn't yours. It's yours now, but it was Melcine's, and the blue of your necklace is a deeper, richer, more vibrant cerulean than all the rest, and it is the same blue that you see on the map. And as you step back and look, you see that there are other spheres around Toril, and some of them are stylized with the elements. Some of them look like chaos, or a realm of fire, or of machine, or of heavens. And you know that these are other planes of existence which exist concurrent to the prime material plane. And throughout them, there seem to be dispersed other points that are not lit up, but that certainly could be, should you find them and activate them. Not just on Toril, but even in the other planes. And as the picture kind of resolves itself, after a moment, it disappears once more, and the portal is now activated. So, through the use of Dragon's Blood, you can teleport back to this spot at any time, using your hopper device once per 10 day. So this goes through, and it is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon as you make your way out of the swamp. And as you approach the edge of the swamp, who is carrying the body of the Furbolg? Yanni?
Just doing curls the whole way.
Yeah. Yanni, you have the body over your shoulder, and as you approach, Heather stops in front of you all, kind of at the threshold of the high road. And she turns to you and she says, "Yeah, well, guess I can't leave."
So I get down on one knee with her dad in my arms, and I said, "Heather, I know creepy dude over there said that we're going to take care of your dad, and he's right. We're going to take care of your dad. I don't know, you don't know this, but I lost my mom too. I watched her die as well. I think that they would want you to know, both your dad and your mom, that they love you very much. And even if they're not here, they're always with you in spirit."
Thank you. Thank you very much, Purple Man.
Thank
Heather, what are you feeling? Why can't you? Is it something compelling you, or just curious? I've never talked to a ghost before on the edge of their boundary.
I just can't go. Just
physically can't move.
I just can't. No. It feels like there's a rope tied around my waist, and I can't go any further.
Where does it feel like it's pulling you? Where's the center point?
Back to the swamp.
That might take us back to where she died. Okay, well.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My ghost knowledge is 0.
How about
She looks, as you're having this conversation, she kind of looks over to Morthos. I'll see you again, right?
One day.
give your dad a kiss before we go?
She goes over and she puts her hand on his chest. She says, "Love you, Dad. See you soon."
I weaken and Bernie's it. Love you too.
And she says, "He's gonna bring you back, heal your mind. We're gonna watch the sunrise. It's gonna be great." Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yes, we better go. We have a long journey ahead.
Turn the corner.
Take him back to the temple and tie him up to the tree.
All right, so you get on the high road, and you begin to make your way to the north.
Can I speak to Morthos?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pull him aside. We're upholding your promise that you made her.
I did not intend to do anything other.
Thank you.
Oh,
It's awesome.
Inside that. Inside. Still believing every word that comes out of his mouth.
Hey, that's what happens when you crit fail on a person twice the first time you meet him. Gotta believe everything he says from now on.
You can incite him again if you want.
No, I don't want to. He's my best friend now. I have to believe him.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So,
Are there any? Well, before we have any further conversations, we're going to do our first giveaway of the evening.
Go tell your friends.
Yeah.
Bring them here.
So
Next time,
we're going to have the first of 3 giveaways tonight. The first giveaway is going to be this orc zombie and this hobgoblin fighter here. And if you would like your chance to win, then in the chat right now, type in !promises. !promises.
Not breaking our promise.
And we will randomly choose a winner. !promises for your opportunity to win these 2 figures, which we will send out later on. So tell your friends, we got 2 more giveaways still coming up. This monk and dwarf and this black dragon, which will be coming at you. So
she can't die.
if you would like to be a part of that, !promises, and you can win. Now, Revengers, any conversations any of you wish to have amongst yourselves as you make your way to the north?
I'm gonna just be like really furious in my walking.
Okay.
Stomping
Hardcore power
along.
walking.
Just very set in my face.
Sola,
Confident strides that.
what's wrong?
What's wrong? You guys could have let her soul rest finally after centuries, and you choose to just keep on going like one soul doesn't matter to you.
So we choose to heal her father and bring him
Oh.
back so that they can have a cogent
How are we
conversation.
gonna heal her father?
There's magic out there. He's just insane. That can be fixed.
He's not. Who knows? He's insane. Every time you get resurrected, your body is like reset to when before your last death. He could have woken up perfectly sound of mind.
And if that happens, we send his ass back there and they have their sunrise.
How do I know that when he finally gets resurrected and we finish whatever we need to be done, that we're not going to get distracted by the next big task? Are we going to just live like souls don't matter to us? Saving one person isn't worth it.
Is this all in the open? Yeah, this is all. Yeah.
So,
Do you
go ahead.
do you remember Hold?
Of course.
Do you remember he tried to save one man and we let hundreds die for one man?
I wasn't.
One man did not justify what happened.
That Hold was an idiot.
I know. I
want
understand
this
your
honorable.
conviction. However,
Holt
If-
was a noble man.
But we don't know who's going to die.
yes, but I believe Eli. And if his visions are true, we are literally talking about the fate of the entire Sword Coast.
But we're also still talking hypotheticals.
I don't believe it's
I
hypothetical.
mean, but it is until it happens.
Listen,
So we're dealing with something in
We also don't
Does
know
that
the
make it
time
hypothetical if
zone.
it's already
through my
coming?
years of experience, I've learned.
It's already coming. It just hasn't hit yet.
But we just don't know how long. We could have had 2 days.
And what if 2 days caused thousands to die?
And what happens if this ice spire really means nothing? And then in 2 days, Neverwinter's
Okay.
gonna get attacked.
Okay, let me be honest here. Let's all be honest. Through my years and experience, many people make their choices that seem noble and just based upon repressed memories about things that have happened in their past, thinking that one change in the future may solve all the problems that have been caused in the past. I'm not saying that that's taking place here, Sola. However,
I'm not saying one thing can change.
however, Do not interrupt your elders.
I thought you were done talking. I'm sorry. You talk like a person we... Master Nain.
That's right. Kind of does.
However, I was told I had a vision last night, whether you believe me or not.
What'd you see?
I was taken to the Raven Queen.
Ooh.
And I've been given some boons, some changes to my abilities, which will be useful. You will see them soon, but she also said something that really poked at my insides. Metaphorically.
Okay.
And that was that, it seems to be that love was what the Raven Queen was speaking of when dealing with this situation with the ghost, the abominations as I call them. The love of a I'm sorry, this voice makes my throat hurt. That the love of a parent to a child or a mother to a child is what was to be used in this situation. And I think she was referring to more than just this situation. As he winks at Morthos.
Love to the child would have been letting the father wake up.
That is a very unwise answer you just gave, but...
How is a parent's love unwise to a parent's love, which you just told us?
I don't know how best to show love to that child.
But her father does.
And only the wisest of people speak exactly what they think is truth and make it happen all the time, yes? That was a question.
Difficult one to answer.
Yes. I don't know what to do.
I don't either. Wisdom has led me to the death of so many friends. All I can hold on to is hope right now.
And the hope is we are going to cleanse his mind and bring him back and let them have their sunrise and let him figure out what he wants to do with the rest of his life.
As long as we uphold that promise.
We will try our hardest.
We're going to try more than our hardest.
I can't try harder than hard.
Repression, people, repression. Okay. We shall move on.
I assume we were walking while talking about all
Yeah, this is all happening over the course of the next day. You get through the day. You have another day's travel until you get to Lylon. As you approach, Morthos and Wolfram and Eli, all three of you are aware that Lylon is really just the ruins of a city. No one really knows quite what happened. There's all kinds of different rumors of different things. And as you approach, you see in the distance, kind of a raised plateau, kind of an earthen plateau. You see a stockade surrounding what looks to be the ruins of a town. There are portions of the stockade which are broken over. Inside you see what look to be the remains of some towers and buildings, but the town itself is largely flattened and destroyed. As the road winds its way to the north, it goes directly to the town, though you'll see that there is a kind of a makeshift trail which goes around the outskirts of the town. Before you get to that makeshift trail, however, you see a little camp that's set up. And as you approach, you see that there's a detachment of soldiers, maybe 5 or 6, that are there, and they all have the crest of Neverwinter on their shields. You are approaching, you're about 50 yards off.
Does Morthos notice this right away?
Roll a perception check.
21.
As you get about 50 yards away, so about 150 feet out, you notice the colors more than you see the detail of the crest, and you know that these are guards of Neverwinter.
So as we get close for the first time, I'm going to pull out my my veil, and I'm going to put it on, just as very nonchalantly, as discreet as possible.
So Morthos, who has a hooded cloak, typically wears it down. He pulls the hood up, and as he does so, you see his face disappear behind a magical shroud of shadow.
Morthos, is there something that we need to know before we enter here?
Just too many negative feelings. I just want to stay hidden, if that is all right for now.
It's alright. Is there anything that's gonna endanger our well-being?
No, I think not.
Okay.
Do
Fair
we
enough.
all see the soldiers, though? We see the...
You all see the soldiers, and this is the ruins of Lylon. I'm going to put that out here for you.
Got more?
I'm gonna insight Morthos on that.
We can
Statement of
share.
safety.
Yeah.
I have more.
Yeah, I believe him. Best friends can't lie.
Okay.
We're biffles.
Devils.
So you go ahead and roll your insight.
26.
26. While his face is shrouded, his body language puts off a distinct air of
Trepidation.
more than trepidation, just a desire to remain anonymous, fueled by some motivation you can't guess, but there's certainly intentionality to what he's doing. That is, there's something going on. As you look, you can see you guys are approaching from the south here along the high road, and the camp is just outside of the city limits. You have the broken stockade all around. You see on the southern section kind of a solitary tower that stands. There don't look to be too many windows, one or two openings throughout, but it looks to be relatively solid, of a kind of white stone, and the roof is kind of a blue slate roof. Further in, you see another dome structure. It looks like a golden dome that is reflecting the sun brilliantly. And to the west, you see what looks to be, as you've approached, you can't really see it, but you know that the topography is flatter to the west, and you get the sense that these are kind of marsh flats. So not necessarily the swamp that you've emerged out of, but it seems that the swamp kind of gives way to a marshy land that is not necessarily, no one's going to drown in it. It's not very deep, but there is a depth to it, that this is kind of a marshy land. And you do see some of docks, the remains of docks that are out there. You also see a large mound of what look to be stones that are just piled up, and you get the sense that there must be some sort of mining operation that used to go on here, as the cast-offs from the mine are just kind of piled up in different places. There's a large pile inside the stockade and a smaller one that seems to have been started outside the stockade. Beyond that, you don't really see much of the individual buildings, but Morthos and Eli, you guys can roll history checks on Lylon. That's perception, though.
21.
22.
Okay, both of you are aware that Lylon was once a mining town that primarily sold copper, nickel, and silver, and it sold it primarily to Waterdeep. And so it would mine it, and then it would ship it out over the marshes to a waiting barge in deeper water that would then take it south. It was also a port where merchants would offload goods on barges, since most proper ships couldn't travel through the shallow mud flats. So it was essentially a trade city, and the goods would be transported deeper into the continent of Faerun from here, and it was also a site of pilgrimage for followers of Pelor, also known as Lathander, or the Morning Lord. And the reason why this was a site of pilgrimage is because the temple here was one of the furthest west and would catch the setting sun, and would reflect brilliantly, and would hearken to the morning that was to come. And so it was a spot of hope that as the day came to a close, dawn was to come. And so Pelor was revered here, as well as a shrine to Selune as well inside of that temple, because the sun would give way to the moon. And so this was an important site. And about 200 years ago, it just was obliterated in some cataclysm. That is unclear what happened. And so, as you approach the guard on the high road, there is what looks to be a male in his guard attire, kind of that Neverwinter colors of dark blue and silver, and with accents of kind of a deep crimson red. And he kind of steps up, not menacingly at all, just kind of approaches, and he says, "So, welcome to the ruins of Lylon. I would ask that you kindly continue around the path. You will see it worn into the road. Make your way to our camp on the north gate and proceed to the north. We don't want anyone done in by the fiends that remain in the city." As you look around, you see the couple other guards that are there. They're watching. Several of them have eyes on the city. Some have eyes on you. There's one person that seems out of place. He is in a robe with all kinds of runes kind of around the hem of the robe. It's a deep purple color. And he has very thick glasses, which kind of, as he looks up, they slide down his nose, and he pushes them back up. It's a youngish male, maybe in his mid-20s. Doesn't look very seasoned. Has kind of messy, brown, tousled hair. Clearly not too concerned with his appearance. And he has a kind of a verklempt look on his face, as he is clearly annoyed something is bothering him. And he kind of looks at you and just kind of takes you all in, as this guard has stepped up and encouraged you to just move along.
You see that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sir.
Are you talking to me?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, greetings and salutations. My name is Galio Elibro. You can call me Gal.
Okay, Gal.
Yes?
You look a little out of place with these guards here. What are you doing?
Well, I traveled here from Neverwinter and unfortunately have been unable to enter the city to further my studies.
Studies on what?
Well, the tower, of course. The House of Thalavar. Thalavar the Great. The wise and magnificent Thalavar.
14.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I have no idea. Anyone? Thalavar?
Do you see that tower there? And he points at the white stoned tower with the slate roof.
That one right there? The white stone tower with the slate roof?
Yes, precisely.
Yeah.
That, my friend, is the House of Thalavar.
And who is Thalavar?
Who was Thalavar? Thalavar was a wizard of renown. A wonderful man who furthered the studies of the arcane in leaps and bounds.
How?
Well, apparently, the House of Thalavar is topped with a planar beacon that lured creatures from other planes into the structure and trapped them there.
And I now turn to the guard. And you said there's a fiend presence in there, right, sir?
Yes, quite. It's
In and around that tower?
Well, it's overtaken the entire city. It's been that way for hundreds of years now. It's not just monsters. There are, well, the ghosts of those who perished as well. Which is why it is unsafe for anyone to travel there, as he looks at Gal deliberately.
When you say unsafe, do you mean unlawful for anyone to travel there?
Well, no one has jurisdiction per se over this lands, though Neverwinter has claim, and we guard it and protect it in the hopes that perhaps one day we may reclaim this valuable port for the use of the father city.
Well, that's interesting. And I show him the badge of the Blackstaff, or the Grey Hands,
Okay.
that we have. See if that means anything.
You hail from Waterdeep.
We do.
Well, we are on good terms with Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
Are you an attaché? I don't quite recognize that staff, but I see the crest of Waterdeep over which it is framed.
It's, we are agents of the Grey Hands. I can't remember. I'm not actually trying to lie.
The Grey Hands, they're a special forces unit of the town.
That's us.
Roll a persuasion check
Sorry.
with advantage.
Come on.
Oh, that's not terrible. 16.
So, how may I assist you? Do you have business in the ruins? What are you here for?
We're going north. We heard about some stuff going down north, and it just so happens we're taking the long road. This is the long road, correct?
But this is the high road.
sorry.
The long road is further to the east.
We're taking the high road through to get where we're going, but maybe we have some experience in these beacons you're talking about. We've heard about them before, and we have some experience with fiends and monsters. Maybe we could clear a little section and make it safer for people.
Before you finish your sentence, Gal immediately jumps up. Yes, that would be lovely, quite lovely. I would certainly assist you however I can and tell you what to do and where to go and how to get there, and you could accompany me in and keep me safe. And we could do this. And he's visibly excited as the opportunity arrives, and
I reach out and go like this.
and he that's a large finger. What are you anyway? Are you a giant? Are you a... What? Who? You're purple. Are you... What are you?
Oh, I am what I am.
Yeah, it's a good answer. And then I turn on. What are you actually?
Oh, I have Storm Giant.
Oh, okay. It's our secret.
Yeah.
So, I turn back to the guard. We could maybe help Gallagher here. Yeah, that's not your name, but
Gal will be just fine. Gal's fine, yes.
maybe we could do that if we could team huddle up.
Hey, Gal, do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. All right.
Hey, Yanni, do you?
Oh, I have many girlfriends.
Guys, do you remember? And this is away from the group.
Okay, so Gal is there intently watching you, but he gets the sense that you want to have some privacy,
Yeah.
so he's
So
just waiting.
Nevermore turns around and starts
Looking at him.
croaking at them while we're talking amongst each other.
Do you remember the thing in our basement? The beacon? I think that's what it was called.
It sounds very
I
similar
have
to
no
this.
idea what you're talking about.
How long have you been following us?
Outside of your house, a long time.
All right. Well, then this pertains to you two.
He did not go into the basement.
I think.
It might be the same thing.
Yeah.
It sounds quite similar, yes.
So we could be looking at Oni, fiends, monsters, you name it.
Last time we almost died.
We did.
Are you thinking that the tower is the source of this and there's a
Last time we didn't have
planar portal open still?
Yeah.
Me too.
We just have to be careful not to let the Oni have the key.
Yes. Yeah, we had that problem last time.
What?
We accidentally let out a bunch of Oni who's now killing infants in Waterdeep.
Yeah, we're gonna actually.
what?
I think they migrated south,
I
but
think you've mentioned this before.
yeah, it's something we're definitely gonna have to amend.
We're
Awesome.
responsible for probably hundreds of
We
thousands of
cannot do
deaths.
nothing about that now.
But we have an opportunity here. Now, what I want to propose, Sola.
I don't know if I want to be a part of this group anymore.
Okay, you can die with the rest of the world then. So what I want to propose, Sola, is we leave our boy here. He's still knocked out in Yanni's arms with these guards.
When is he supposed to arise?
By my calculations, and I push up my fake glasses.
It is about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he will be resuscitating. By the way, the guards have looked at you very strangely, but you were able to intercede quickly enough and make known that you are on special business. They didn't ask if he was dead. They presume that he's
Yeah, I was gonna.
knocked out or something. He will be rezzed in about 4 hours.
Okay. I propose we leave him with the guards. We explain to the guards that he's knocked out and he will arise. He's a little crazy. Part of our business is to cure his mind. So if they could keep him safe from himself and others till we get back.
Why don't we just wait till morning and take care of the threat in the morning? It's already...
So are we going to
Evening.
take the crazy guy with us into the Tower of Madness?
We could still leave him with the guards. I am okay with that.
Okay.
However, I was just thinking it might smooth over things and make sure he doesn't escape if he is in fact insane.
Yeah.
Explain to him that we want to take him to his daughter.
Why do we think he's insane again?
Because he
a minute.
was.
You,
But I don't know this.
when you woke up last,
Yeah.
Thank you.
He was fine.
you were fine, and
No, I
you
wasn't.
explained that you just have some memory problems.
No, so what you don't know is the 200 years of depression I went through and woke up with that every day.
Yes.
Wanting to die over and over and over again and not being able to end it.
Please keep sharing.
Okay? So, I know exactly that doesn't go away. He's going to wake up remembering all of this. And the only difference for him is he is not chained to a tree anymore. That's going to be a shock.
Yes.
And he also died with his daughter and is no longer with her.
And we are going to cleanse him and bring him back.
But I don't know how we're going to do that, and I'm the one that has the magics around here.
Well,
My concern was he was going to be very uncooperative when he wakes without his daughter.
his daughter has been dead to him.
And then we
For 200
reintroduced.
No, we didn't. He died before we even did that.
You know what would be a really funny
He
joke?
did see her.
Yeah.
He saw her. Yep.
He did.
No. He mentioned
Oh, he definitely
he
saw
died,
her.
and then she came over. That's when she got angry.
He definitely saw her, remember.
Okay. So, fine.
You know, it'd be a really funny joke
What?
if we chained him to a tree over here somewhere. What do you think, guys?
We recreate.
No.
Instead of complete
no,
madness,
no,
at least he'll
no,
have a
no,
spot
no,
of
no.
comfort.
My vote is no on that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was a joke.
Either way, we're
The
going
only
to have...
person we can tease is Yaga.
Yes. Yeah. Poor guy. So either way,
They're
we're gonna have
alright.
we're gonna have an issue because he's gonna wake up, right? So
Yes.
if he's fine, which I would doubt, great. Then we can maybe get one of these guards to walk him back to the Mayor Deadman. If he's not fine, we need them to keep him safe while we go clear out of Fiend Horde.
Love you too.
Okay.
Well, here's this option.
Yep.
What if we bring him with us and he wakes up at the end of this thing and helps us by even being crazy and belligerent, and then he dies, and we just wait another 3 days.
So you want to
Yeah.
use him as like cannon fodder?
That's torture.
Well,
it's-
I'm not going to
what?
stand for this.
Oh my gosh.
You
You're getting
cannot-
real annoying lately.
He cannot
Solo.
die except
Oh,
at Eli's
you
hand.
don't talk to her like that.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay. The humane thing here would not to be to do that.
We're not doing that.
Do we want to bed down tonight, though, and at least have this conversation with him when he comes to?
I don't see why it wouldn't hurt. I don't know if we should trust anybody with him other than ourselves at this point.
At least
We're
right
the only
away.
ones who can tell him where his daughter is. We're the, we've had the most interaction.
Okay.
I agree. However, when we did mention his daughter last time, he started going crazy and was pulling on the chains.
It's probably just because he wanted to see her.
Most likely. So if we mention it again, we have to expect the same reaction of him trying to get to her.
So we don't mention that. We mention that we're trying to fix his brain,
Unless,
and then we talk to him when he's sane.
unless
When he
we
wakes
bring her
up,
back.
so we're letting him go back to heaven. That's what we decided. We're not taking out the unnaturalness
Go ahead and say it.
abomination. That's his word.
Yeah.
That's his word.
No,
Just-
My new word is love. That is all.
We can.
We're not killing him until Heather says goodbye. It's not fair to him and it's not fair to Heather.
I agree with Sola on that one, and we've given Heather our word that we're going to try to cleanse him.
Okay.
I know at the very least there is a cleric back in Waterdeep that could probably do wonders with his brain.
That's a far
That's weird.
travel, though, for him.
Yeah, I'm just assuming she might have a counterpart somewhere in a bigger populated city in the north. Oh, I don't know. Neverwinter.
Speaking of Netherwinter, should we let the soldiers know while we're in the Icespire that we have good cause to believe that the dragon's gonna attack them next, and that they should be prepared so they can get word back?
No?
Shouldn't we
Morthos,
warn them?
what's your opinion on all this?
I believe we should not tell them anything at this moment until we actually know what it is we are dealing with.
But if we know an attack is coming, shouldn't they have warning so they could be prepared and stand ready and possibly save thousands of lives? You saw the destruction that Amfeld and Waterdeep had.
Yes, but I also feel if we walk up to them and say, hey, your city's going to be attacked. Well, how do you know? Oh, a vision told me. Well, they will probably laugh at us and probably think we are crazy ourselves.
No, they know that we're great hands. We'll say that on a prior mission we found a good source of information by what were they, orcs or ogres or something.
So here's something we have to consider. That everyone we talk to is actively trying to kill us and not our friend. And, we're in a huddle, and we look up over there. Those 4 guys over there, one of them could be a bad guy. Hell, Gal could be someone who wants to bring more devils and demons into this world.
I already know he's the immortal lich that released the fiends from the planar.
But if we tell all 4,
Portal.
what are the chances of all 4 being evil? And then they have to spread the truth
Right now,
for the sake of the other 3.
right now, nobody knows what we are doing at this moment. This is the one thing we have is an element of
It's
surprise.
safer to
I'm
operate
also
under
surprised every
anonymity.
time we do something.
But we can't stand up against the Black Dragon. We have seen that over and over. How many times now?
I haven't died yet.
Well, it's the White Dragon in the Ice Spire. We saw it go back there. So it's not the same one. It's not Ogarinth.
You all go and I can take care of that.
Yeah, well, Yaga's not here.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
seen that.
Dang.
I hear what you're saying, Sola. I think operating under the guise of a mission to the north might be the smarter play currently. Diversion, distraction, try to move under the cover of them not knowing so no word can spread that we're coming. If we zig and tell them we're going to zag, that gives us our best opportunity.
In my opinion, we just go straight forward.
There's that one too.
Inaction is the weakest of actions.
We're talking about a dragon killing so many.
What? We're talking. Okay, let's backtrack. We're talking about this guy that's going to be awake in a couple hours in the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
I thought we finished that conversation.
Period.
Well, we didn't really. We still have no idea what we're doing.
What I would say is we bed down tonight, we talk to this man in the morning. I would say we leave him with these guards.
Well, we'll see what he says when he wakes up.
Sure.
If we're gonna wait, we might as well just wait.
Sure.
And see.
We talk with him. We have to go in there. It could be something that was like our basement.
I agree.
Which is pretty bad. Is what
It's
you're
not
gonna
good at all.
get. You live in a house with a basement.
Our house is haunted.
I look up from our group and I say,
Good ghosts though.
Oh,
I say to the guards, are you guys camping here tonight? You live here?
Yes, this is in fact our station.
Where do you
oh, you poor
Sadly.
souls. What did you do?
Where do you stay at night?
I am the captain of this small little outpost, and you see that they have tents that are set up. It's a bit rough, but pay is good, and when we are on furlough, we have several weeks off with our families back in Neverwinter, so...
If by chance we wanted to wait until morning to venture in, would you mind if we stayed with?
But of course, I would much rather have you grey hands around to assist with anything that might come up with, well, an overflow of the town, which, though rare, does happen.
Which means it's gonna happen tonight.
Okay.
Well,
Well, guys, the option is there for us if we do want to wait the night out.
let's do that,
I agree with Eli.
and let's move in the morning in the light where some of us can see.
I can't see. I can't see in the dark.
Me neither.
So
Yes, Gal.
Yes. So, in the morning then, we will go to the tower, yes?
can I inspect his runes and stuff on? I want.
Sure, roll an Arcana check
He's got runes on him?
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
Do you want
on his robe.
Do you want to help me? Arcana's great.
I would very much love to go to the tower with you
Nat 20.
in the morning. Oh.
21 total.
You see that the runes are not in a language that you know or understand, but they are certainly magical, and that they seem to have a shimmer to them, which tells you that they're more than just a fashion statement. There's some sort of pragmatic used to them on his robe.
Cool. Worse than that
Do you
one.
point, you point them out to me?
Yeah, I mean, I want are we still in a huddle or are we kind of broken up now?
Broken up.
He's kind of approached you after
yeah,
okay.
after you spoke to the guard. He kind of took that opportunity to. So yes, the tower then. In the morning, is that the plan?
We'll let you know. We'll let you know.
My name's Gal.
Oh,
One second.
What's your name, Big Purple Man?
oh, you can call me Yanni.
Yanni.
Yeah.
Yanni. All right, Yanni, you're the leader. I take it, given your size and stature.
I mean, I go in first. Well, let's put it that way.
You lead from the front. That's admirable. Very, very admirable.
But we work pretty good as a team here.
Well, that's wonderful.
Do I notice the runes on his
And then-
shimmering runes?
You do.
I slowly pull my book out of my bag.
Are you gonna steal
It's
his
like trying to
runes?
take a picture of someone with your phone when they're.
And my other book out of my bag. And I cover my mouth. And I,
Roll a sleight of hand.
in about... He knows exactly what I'm doing. Oh, no, wait, I haven't rolled a 5.
He looks at you.
I go like this. I'm casting a spell, leave me alone.
Of course. Can I assist you? I would love to be of assistance.
Are you skilled at the arcane arts?
Well, of course. One doesn't join the Weaver's Presidium without skill in the arcane.
The weavers, yes?
Yes,
Very good.
I am a wizard. After Thalavar, he is my hero, and I shall be like him once I retake his tower.
Did you know him?
No,
Oh, okay.
my master.
Give me 12 seconds.
Who's your master?
Who's your master?
You do this for 12 seconds while we distract them.
Comprehend languages and detect magic. I would like to try to
Master,
get off.
Who's your master?
Master Borgin.
Master Borgin. Did he study under or she study under Calavar?
Well, Master Borgin studied under Master Kent, who studied purportedly under Thalavar.
And why do we like Thalavar?
He was a master of interplanar manipulation.
How much do you know of what he did?
I will know a lot more once we get in that tower.
So you have no knowledge whatsoever.
Could I make a history check on all the names that he said?
Absolutely. With advantage.
Borgin and Kent.
Ooh, with advantage.
Like Clark.
Whew, that sucks.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to be very good.
You knocked it over with the other dice. Though.
What was it?
4.
4?
There's a 4 and a
Alright.
2 that you
Then it's
rolled.
a 7.
7. You don't know. You know that there is a Weaver's Hall in Neverwinter, but none of the names you recognize.
Did I ever come across the Weaver's Hall in winter? Where are we?
Neverwinter
Waterdeep?
and Waterdeep.
Yeah.
You're aware of it. I don't know if you ever traveled there, but you certainly are aware of
I
it.
tried to work for them.
No,
at one point.
he's a fine. That's fine. Yeah. How long have you been doing your wizarding thing?
Oh, well, since I was a wee boy.
Which was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean you're like
Don't patronize me.
it's patronized.
No, they're not. And as I say that, I finished the ritual for comprehend languages as I grab his robe.
Okay.
Say, this is a work of magical art, isn't it? And then I would attempt to read it.
Okay. It is. There are arcane runes. They're not written in a specific language, but they are runes of abjuration.
Okay. Yes, you
that
are.
Protection. School of protection.
Mage armor.
You're protected, clearly. Yes.
Well, one doesn't go into a monster-infested ruin without protection,
Or by themselves.
I bring giants.
which
with
is why I didn't.
I didn't bring protection. I brought a giant. And a monk. Pretty good.
Monk.
And
Monks are
pretty-
valuable. What? dark man. Your face is in magical shadow. That's
This is my summoned
interesting.
minion.
He's not feeling well. Just leave him alone. I got your back. Wink, 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 wink.
Does he speak?
Says it out loud.
Oh, I can speak, but I prefer to remain hidden.
Oh, a sneaky type. Okay. Well,
Let me
we
tell you,
could use you.
I come in great handy when we are trying to not be seen.
Excellent. Excellent. He'll probably be the one who helps us get into the tower then.
What do we... I changed my mind. I was going to ask what we can...
I can slow down if that helps me speak better.
No.
No, I'm
you,
just playing out of character.
are you prepared to potentially have your hopes and dreams dashed about who Thalavar was?
I am not understanding what you are insinuating.
No, just log that away. It'll probably become evident in, I don't know, about 12 hours.
I'll share with
Noted.
you.
Noted. Yep.
I have thoughts about the cause of the fiends being your great and mighty Thalavar. I don't know on purpose or accidental. But that's
Thalavar was no fiend.
No.
He's a hero.
No.
Anyway, what's your name?
Prove it.
He does not understand.
Why do you need my name?
I've given you my name. If we're going to be
I didn't ask for your
friends.
name, no. I did actually. It's Eli.
Eli, masculine. Eli, Yanni, Wolfram.
Excuse me. You skipped someone.
Who did I skip?
Nevermore.
Oh,
Oh, is that a familiar?
No.
Oh, it's just a bird?
No.
He's so nosy.
I don't understand.
You wouldn't.
go ahead and ask her name.
Yes, fair lady.
Names.
Hit him.
Honestly, it's just I'm getting so tired of explaining. What's the importance of a name? Why a name? Why don't you ask me what's my purpose in
What's your
life?
purpose?
What's my purpose? To defend the innocent. Thank you. You understand, gal.
Oh,
So I will call you Innocent. And what's your name?
I am Morthos.
Morthos. Wonderful. Well, we shall be the Thalavar Six.
We shall not.
And he kind of stares off at the tower.
Nope.
I will lead you, and we will go together, and you will protect me as we reclaim what was lost to the ages.
You bring me waffles in the morning and I will follow you.
Waffles. I don't.
all right. Sounds all right, gal.
Presto.
How about you go rest up? If you need anything, you can come ask us some questions. But we're gonna talk about our game plan for tomorrow. All right.
Fine.
Thanks.
So he goes and he takes out a book and
Just
he
getting on my nerves.
he does a spell, and all of a sudden a giant bubble appears. And he goes inside, and you can't see into it. It's kind of a orangish clay color, and he's there. And then his head pops out. I'll see you all in the morning. I will rest and prepare.
What's the orb thing? Here you go.
It's magic.
Magic's weird.
Yeah, so is that guy.
Yeah.
Head pops out. I can still hear you, Eli. This is a permeable substance.
I'm aware.
I can see and hear. You are?
Yeah.
Interesting. Head pops back out.
Good night.
Good night.
It is not much longer.
Look, we just had a 4-hour conversation with that guy.
They say it will only be a couple hours before he wakes.
Yeah.
We should find a place that might be
That's what I
off
was
and away from everyone.
All right. Let's, hey, Captain of the Guard. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, yes, of course. My name is Captain Narrowleth.
Captain Narrowleth?
Narrowleth, yes.
All right, Captain Narrowleth.
Narrowleth. Narrowleth.
Everybody together.
It's Elvish.
Oh. Does he look elvish?
It means narrow path.
Oh. All right, Captain Narrowpath. Would you mind?
Narrowleth, if you would, please.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
How about I just call you Captain?
that would suit me just fine.
All right, Captain.
Crunch.
So, would you mind?
Now I really want Captain Crunch.
Every time you do that, I'm really...
Then you just step on a twig and it crunches.
Hey, Captain.
Crunch.
Would you mind if we kind of bed down in your midst as well?
Absolutely, by all means. I presume you are capable and aren't going to get yourself killed. Of course, let it be known that Neverwinter takes no responsibility for what may befall you in the town,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Yeah.
We signed
I'm not
papers.
signing a waiver.
Yeah, we get the legalese.
Yes, of course.
So, just so you know, this guy's gonna wake up soon.
Oh, is he napping? We were kind of wondering.
He's knocked out.
Knocked out,
Yeah.
of course.
We just came.
Is he a threat?
No.
No.
He-
Whoa. No.
He might be. He might be a little. The hit on the head he took might have jostled a couple of things. So this is part of our task to go north and see if we can get that rectified.
Oh, well, you should find a cleric in Neverwinter. Or Helmshold, there's many clerics there.
Thank you for that information. We don't know if it's going to happen. Like I said, nice hard hit to the head. He could come back normal.
Is that a furbolg? He looks quite emaciated.
Yep.
And there are...
We found him.
Captain.
Crunch.
There are... Was he manacled about the ankles?
He may have been.
It's good perception.
He
It
was very
was-
sick.
This was a rescue mission on our end. And as you can see,
Successful.
we have him.
Roll persuasion
With advantage. 'cause
With
we didn't lie.
advantage.
We rescued.
because Yanni is helping you.
Yikes.
12?
Yeah.
Strange. And he kind of stares at your form for a prolonged time. Morthos. And then he looks back and says, well, I will give you the benefit of the doubt as Grey Hands. Frankly, it's beyond my purview. I am tasked with making sure people steer clear of Lylon, and I am doing such. You don't seem to be nefarious sorts. And if you have the blessing of Waterdeep, then who am I to get in your way?
You're just a wonderful captain doing his job.
Thank you. All right, well, the sun's going down. Boys, set up the watches.
Do you guys trade anything here?
What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, you gotta eat, right?
Well, of course we have our rations.
Yeah. Do you ever like to liven them up, spice it up a little bit
In what way?
with actual spices? Pepper, salt,
I mean,
paprika, cayenne.
don't have much to trade with. I could trade you information.
Some 50 pounds of spices back here. Whoops.
How are you carrying
You
that?
crazy old man.
Magic.
Ah,
You know magic.
yes, of course, it's the
No,
answer to most things that are of mystery.
Yeah. Okay.
So, your friend will wake up in a couple of hours, you say, all right?
Yep.
And you're going to turn in for the night.
Yep.
We will keep watch.
Yep.
And in the morning, you're going to go with Gal into the ruins, to
Yep.
the tower.
And we may need you to watch our friend who is waking up when we go in.
Oh, so now I must babysit.
For some spices.
Possible.
Yeah.
Roll a persuasion check.
Five. Delicious, delicious spices.
You are not appetizing me.
Oh. Well, I
How
tried.
about for a little bit of gold?
That would do just fine.
No persuasion needed.
Well, we shouldn't be gone long, so babysitting gig usually nets about a silver an hour. How about I give you 5 gold?
I like your math.
I'm aware that the math doesn't add up, but I'd also appreciate your cooperation in further endeavors of us coming and going potentially into this vicinity.
And you have it.
Okay.
The captain retires after this quest.
On 5 gold?
Yeah, we could.
All right, well, men, look live. Let's get to work. We got to babysit tomorrow. And as you turn in for the night, unless there's any further conversation you wish to have, you sit and wait for your furbog friend, whose name you don't know, to wake up, unless there are additional questions or conversation with each other.
I want to talk one-on-one with Morthos.
Okay, very good.
I'm assuming around a fire, people are getting comfortable.
Yep.
So, hey, what the heck happened there? Your countenance completely changed.
There's no secret that I have a past.
Everybody does.
Let's just say that Neverwinter is maybe not a friendly place for me.
Like, wanted friendly, or like...
Like, I like shiny things, and I'd like to take many shiny things.
So wanted friendly.
Yeah, and then I would rather not let the guards maybe see who I am.
Okay.
So from now on, I will be the person in the group that helps us stay in the shadows.
Alright, that's fair. Nothing else we need to worry about as we're walking into the belly of the beast for you?
No.
Okay.
We want to just stay hidden, that is all.
Alright. I trust you.
Can I perceive that with my ears? What they just talked about?
Yep, you heard the whole thing.
Sweet.
Hey guys, should we tie this fella up?
It is approaching the point of...
Or do you want me just to hold him real tight?
Maybe you could hold him down.
Perhaps we should get farther away from the camp.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, can we?
Because it could go one of two ways. He could be normal, in which case you let him go. He could be crazy, in which case we want to be far away.
And also if we need to speak of private things like pain cursed and
Yeah.
potentially
So let's.
death.
How best calculation from Eli on how much time we have, aka the end.
About 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. I can taste his blood in the air.
How far away are we from their camp?
How close to it did you camp?
More those.
100 yards?
30 yards? Okay.
We
A
could,
football field?
we could
That's
create
far.
So you're
we could create
far.
some
They're really not
illusions to
protecting
calm
us
his
then.
mind when he
Oh, I
wakes
mean,
up.
I figured we were gonna do our own watch anyways.
I don't know how Sola feels about
I
tricking
mean, we
me,
could beat
but
50 yards. I'm just throwing out a number here.
May assist his transition better? I don't know. You've got the skill, yes?
I do. I can attempt, but I would be fearful that it might cause him to react even harsher once he finds out it is an illusion.
You're probably right.
Alright, let's say 50.
50 yards back.
Okay, so you're 50 yards back from the camp,
Yeah.
which is about the distance that you first saw them. So you're within eyesight of their fire.
Okay.
You don't really see them. They are within eyesight of your fire.
Perfect.
They don't really see you.
I'd like to check to see if Gil came out of his shell and followed us.
He did not. You see an opaque dome, but
His door
no
didn't
movement
open.
outside of it.
I'm gonna take my rope out and tie his hands. The
Okay.
dogs.
He is tied. His hands are tied.
In front of him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
The time goes by, and his prostrate body on the ground, with his hands tied in front of his emaciated belly, as the 3 days pass. You all have seen this, well, you have not, Yanni. Morthos and Sola, you have seen this before with Eli. Wolfram Nevermore watched this through a window. As
I have a couple water ready.
you have a cup of water ready?
Yeah.
Very good. As
It's got a ration
you
out
see, first there is a flash of light, and in the bound hands appears what looks to be a shovel
Weapon.
with a very, very sharp bladed edge. and it immediately appears in his hand. And as his hand grasps it, you see his entire body covered in green light. And his form goes from being emaciated to being very strong and burly and stocky. The furball has muscles that just instantly almost grow out of his skeletal frame. His chest immediately begins to rise with a deep breath. And as he does, there's a gust of air as his furball hair is kind of tousled, as a light emanates from his chest and then dissipates, and it kind of goes down. The green light goes down throughout his entire form to the edge of his fingertips, to the bottom of his feet, and his body rises slightly and then stops. His chest is breathing. You hear him. His eyes are closed. There's almost a tired breath, a sigh, as he opens them, and then immediately a look of bewilderment.
Yeah, probably.
And he sees you around him. He tries to move his hands, and he's, what's this? The tree.
We took care of it.
The tree's gone.
Gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
Why is it? Kinshasa. Kinshasa's gonna? She's gonna destroy me. She's gonna kill Heather. She's gonna. I just need to die. I need to die. No, please.
I look at Sola.
I wish to
crazy.
die.
What's your name, pal?
What does it matter? My name? What does the name matter? It's Dundee.
Dundee.
Yes.
It's a nice knife you got there.
It's a knife. Yes. Call that a knife. This is a knife.
It was the shovel too.
Does the
Alright.
name of Shantae mean anything to you?
So of course the goddess. She's protected me. No, she betrayed me. No, she doesn't work. It's Kinshasa said she's gone. She's dead.
Goddess Shantae sent us to assist you in cleansing the mere of dead men, and you can do nothing but mumble craziness. Can you get over yourself for 5 minutes?
That's Old Man Wolfram.
Please kill me.
Why do you want to die?
Your daughter does not want you to die.
Heather, was she there? I heard her voice.
She is waiting for you.
She's alive? No, she can't be. There was the flood. There was.
Calm yourself. She's dead. And trapped.
She's a ghost.
She needs you.
You need to kill me so I can join her.
I agree.
So now, who? Can you? None of you are able. You don't. Not Kinshasa. Only Kinshasa can do this.
That's not true.
What do you mean? No. Tell me.
Okay.
How can you do this? How?
Listen to me. Listen. We promised your daughter.
Heather.
Yes.
Yes.
That we would cleanse your mind and bring you back to her.
What's wrong with my mind? My mind's fine. It's fine. The tree is. I need to tend to the tree.
The tree's gone. It's burnt down.
Prove it.
Who told you to?
I pull them
keep
out.
it.
Slowly pull it out to see if he recognizes it. Do you recognize this? I found it under the tree. And then I put it back in.
Why? Why am I here? Why did I'm out of the? You freed me. I'm free. I can go back and find my daughter.
You could.
Heather.
Do you want to meet her
Heather,
in
yes.
your current state?
Yes. I told her I would watch the sun rise with her.
That's
And
what she wants.
Kinshasa. She tricked me. She.
When's the last time you saw this Kinshasa?
She killed me. It's been three death cycles since. No, it hasn't. It's been one. It's been one. No. I didn't starve you. My ankle. I was electrocuted. Someone.
That was our mistake.
But there was. She took the summer solstice fruit and she sent it to the next
What is the summer solstice fruit? What does that mean?
It's an ingredient. It's an ingredient for her. For the ritual that made me like this. The
pain curse ritual.
That's what it is.
That's what it's called.
Took me away from Heather.
How did she trick you?
Took me away from Heather.
How did Kinshasa trick you?
She told me I was going to tend to a garden, and she would pay me, which would allow us to leave town and have a life again, away from the memory of my wife. It's so painful.
How did Kinshasa appear to you in order to trick you?
She was just a woman. Which, of course, she's not a woman. She's a crone, a decrepit old crone. Witch. She's a witch. But she's powerful. She tricked me and she chained me and she bound me, and I can't. I have to listen to her. She'll hurt me more.
You don't have to listen to her anymore.
But she'll find me. She'll find me. She will. She'll find me. She did. She will. She will. We can't. I can't. I gotta. The tree needs to be tended to. It needs to be tended to.
The tree
and maintained.
The tree is gone.
It's burned down.
The banshee is dead. The kingfish is dead. The bone guy is dead.
The bone claw will come back.
Okay.
He will come back at her side and he'll hunt me and destroy me, and I'll come back again and be tortured and pierced and pained for my transgressions.
What if
Maybe you should just tell him what your plan is and what you are.
What if we could help you die?
Yes, you must kill me. You must finish me. You said you can do this?
I didn't say that, but yes, I can do that.
You said there was someone here who could.
Yeah, that's me.
So it's you.
Yeah, I'm pain cursed just like you.
The truth shall set you free.
Yeah.
Do it now.
However, if
Do
you
it now.
do this now, you may leave Heather wandering for the rest of eternity.
Then why'd you take me from her?
Great question.
It's not my decision. However,
You can go back.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
He stands up and starts walking.
Hey, I hope Artemia or Kinshasa don't get you along the way.
I don't know who Artemia is, but
Oh, she's another one just like us.
I'll be happy to die. They can kill me. I'll go find my daughter.
What if they get to you before you get there? Are you going to leave your daughter waiting for a sunset, literally for eternity? Are you going to be that selfish?
Roll persuasion.
Okay.
This is tough love.
I'm going to go with advantage here.
You're using your advantage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Needed it. 18.
He stops and slowly turns. There's tears in his eyes.
Let's untie his hands.
Just want to find Heather. I want to go home, and I just so bollocks.
Dundee,
It's bollocks.
we will get you to Heather. You have to get your mind sane so you can say goodbye to her first.
I can.
And then you guys can go off to the underworld together. Father and daughter
I
reunited.
want to go to the underworld. I want to go to the fields of
In
Shantea.
the fields of Shantea, then.
She misspoke. Where she's from, that's a good place.
What do you think about getting some rage and confusion out of you by swinging that shovel around in a tower filled with bad things?
No.
Too bad. We're doing it.
I'm no warrior.
Tomorrow morning we'll be doing this.
Kinshasa gave this to me. She slew me with it, and it's a reminder of the pain of that moment constantly. Like, it always comes back. I can't get rid of it. Every time I pitch it away, it returns.
Hey, Hey, do you want to see mine? You showed me yours.
Whoa!
Oh, we're comparing swords?
And I summoned my sword. That's the one that killed me 323 years ago. Summon it away. Get your mind right, so you can say goodbye to your daughter the way she remembers you.
My mind is broken. It's broken and shattered over
It can be,
centuries of starvation, centuries of pain and torture and emaciation.
it can be fixed.
Hold on. Do you think that perhaps if you do grant his wish, he'll be able to go back and...
As a ghost?
I mean, I've seen crazier things in the last 5 minutes.
So that would be a big risk to take.
For what?
For Morthos.
For Morthos.
For more of those.
Yeah.
Well, he made promises, remember?
To who?
Heather,
The little ghost girl.
his daughter.
Also, it's a risk we cannot take.
He might end up.
Heather, you made promises to Heather.
To cleanse your mind and bring you back.
So let's go. Let's do it. Get on with it. Get on with life. No, I need to die. I just can't continue. I need to find Heather and just be free. Just go. I don't know. The tree's gone. The tree is gone. The tree is gone. I can go plant other trees. I can grow the fruits with Heather. We can be a family. Yes, we can be a family. We can be a family. Yes. We can.
Shantae.
We can.
A weird undead one, but yeah.
Yes, she's dead. I need to die. We can't be a family, Mom.
In the fields of Shantae,
No,
we
I
can
need
be
to
a
die. I
family.
need to die.
Agreed.
Wolfram,
In the
Hold
right
your
time.
tongue.
Death comes in the right time.
He continues on like this.
Thank you.
And he doesn't sleep throughout the night. He's just kind of prattling to himself.
Take him out one more time.
You guys go to bed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Set a watch.
We
I
probably
guess.
should set watch.
Yep.
I'll go
Nevermore
first.
is our watch. He can wake me up.
Okay.
Oh, alright.
It's part of how cool he is.
I only need 4 hours of sleep.
Okay, so Sola, you wake up first, and Dundee is not there.
I'm gonna wake up the rest of the group.
And then you find as you proceed, you see
I
him.
was like, what?
You see
He's gone.
Active kidnapping!
Buffalo, guys.
He's just kind of pacing in the shadows. And then he walks over, looks at you all. You can see this inner dialogue that is going on. And he is just not right.
Dundee, just sit with me. Sit in silent companionship.
He looks at you and he lets you take his hand. And he sits down and he just kind of lightly rocks himself. And he sits with you and then after several moments the rocking stops. He seems to be calm. But his mind, he kind of jolts every now and then as if there's these thoughts going through his
Every
mind.
time he jolts, I just squeeze his hand.
And he kind of looks at you. You have a calming presence. The rest of your party wake up. And as the sun rises, we're going to do our next giveaway.
Looks like you missed another sunrise with your daughter.
Can I punch Wolfram?
He does, as the sun rises, he does stop and pause and look at it. And
So he
then
kinda moves.
and then look at you.
Yeah, did we?
And there's kind of a tear that goes down his eyes. He's sitting with a young lady who isn't his daughter, but is still calming him nonetheless. And if you would like to win the dwarf fighter and the elvish monk guy, this is a soul knife infiltrator and a Eberk, the adventurer. You can type in !crazy! exclamation point crazy for your chance to win the dwarf and the monk right now. And before the end of the night, we're going to give away this black dragon as well. So stay tuned for that.
Only moments
The
away.
dwarf and the monk, exclamation point crazy right now if you would like your chance to win. All right. As the sun rises, you all wake up and you have waffles as Gal brings them to you.
Oh, such a good request this was. Thank you.
Yes, well, I just conjured them. It wasn't that difficult. I can't, of course, cook them, but I can, make things. All right, so,
More.
And there's like a very large plate.
it's like, you are, well, you're a giant. Yes, you're a half giant. Is that what? You're a giant. You're a large man. You're a very large purple man. Anyway, would you like anything?
I have a question
I'm
for
good.
you.
Let's go.
Yes, Wolfram? Yes.
Do you know the spell Calm Emotions?
I have heard of it. I sadly do not have that prepared for today, nor, to be perfectly honest, no, I don't. I don't
Okay,
know.
all right.
He's just a youngin'. He wouldn't know that.
It's not that hard. I've seen many do it. I don't know.
Anyway, so we
Useless
need
to me. My
we need
emotions
to
are pristine.
move on. I would recommend that we don't stop and interact with any of the ghosts that are throughout the town. That we just quickly move past and just get right into the tower. No one's been in there for a long time. And anyone who's gone in has never come back out. So I think that what we should do is be really careful as I lead the Salavar 6.
You're not leading nothing,
Listen, gal.
girl.
What was your plan coming to this town by yourself?
To find someone like you. Hopefully, eventually, to make our way into the Tower of Salavar, the house of the
Can you
Salavar.
say his honesty in
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, of course.
Does someone else?
26.
Okay.
He seems to be utterly truthful, if not anxious, and naive
He does seem naive.
in his expectations.
Okay. Perhaps
What if
you
we
should
could clear the
stand in
way?
the back.
Unlike Yanni, I, of course, lead from behind.
Okay, alright.
Hey, gal, what can you tell, since I'm going first, what can you tell me about this tower and this?
Well,
What's in there?
once we get inside, I can't tell you anything. It's white on the outside with a blue slate roof, and
So you know nothing.
Your plan was terrible.
I
You
know.
are most definitely going to die.
I know what's in there. You know what? That's a good idea. Why don't you guys all go ahead without me? I'll stay here, and you just go and inspectorate, and I will reap the benefit of you having cleared it out. I'll
no.
go in after you. Yeah.
I'm gonna go in and die. You're gonna come in and die too.
Or we just pass on through.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I
Except
don't feel
for we
very
leave the
attached to
evil.
finding out this tower.
No.
Is Dundee coming with us today?
Why don't we talk to the Dundee Whisperer over there? Is he coming with us, or are we leaving him with Captain?
I believe he wants to stay with Captain.
Crush.
Oh. He's not going to go down?
He is a simple farmer. He
No,
doesn't
I mean
know.
he's not going to go back to his daughter? Now?
I don't believe so. I think he wants a clear mind as well.
Yeah.
Have you guys made your way over to the guard?
Yep.
Yep.
As you have, you see them kind of cleaning their blades, and there are 3 hobgoblin corpses there.
Oh, we weren't there to have a little.
So yes, there was a bit of a ruckus last night. We put it down with ease, but it appears that, well, some goblin folk have decided to make their way out of the center of the city. It does change regularly. in terms of what creatures come forth, but now we have hobgoblins, thankfully. They're actually rather easy to deal with, though certainly abrasive, not without their honor. Took them out just fine, but do be careful to watch for other goblin folk. They seem to go in waves.
We can take care of hobgoblins. And I wink at Eli.
I just chuckle.
All right, yes, well,
Hey, here's Dundee.
he holds out his hand to you. In advance, if you will. I don't know if he'll be back, honestly.
Fair
3
enough.
gold now, 2 gold later. 4 and 1. Okay.
Thank you. And he flicks out a coin to each of his men. Keeps one for himself.
Nice guy.
Oh, what a good leader.
All right, well, we will watch him until you return, or until I think you're dead.
No,
Well, I'm not watching him indefinitely.
I get that, but I don't know what your timetable is there either.
I'll give you a day.
Let's call it 3 just in case you die and you can go back.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
All right, I'll tell you what. 3 days, 10 more gold.
I will give you the other 5 gold
Nope.
on the back end.
Ahead now.
I throw him 10 gold.
Thank you, sir. Madam?
Ooh, go with madam.
Oh, we like madam.
Right.
That's more Thena.
So he takes the 10 gold, and 3 days it is, and we will keep him from harming himself and others, and keep him from wandering off. He seems a bit unstable. Nothing we can't handle.
He likes quiet time.
Long walks on the beach.
If he says
It's
stuff,
a marsh, not a beach, sorry. All right.
don't pay attention to much of what he says.
So you're going to the tower then. I would, well, we can open up the gate here and let you in the main road. You can try to find a gap through the stockade and get there. Might put you closer, but we're not watching that, so can't tell you what's around. Your choice of how you enter. And you're taking Gal with you?
Oh, yeah, he's coming.
Yeah.
All right, Gal.
Yes, Captain.
Crunch.
I am thankful for your patience with my little excursion here, and I am ready to lead these 5 brave adventurers to Thalavar's House of Wonder. It's gonna be great. We're gonna find a lot of stuff. They're gonna kill things, and I'm gonna learn some information for the betterment of us all. Yeah. All right.
Okay, fearless leader.
Yep.
Through the front door or through the side gate?
Let me think for a second. I defer to your adventuring skill as to which way you would like to
He
go.
has no idea.
Nope.
How
He's
tall
an
is the
idiot.
stockade?
It's about 15 feet tall of what formerly were essentially lumbered spikes that were uniformly placed as a wall, now sundered in many places. But it's about 10 to 10 and a half,
Wolfram
12
starts
I'm gonna-
walking towards the main gate.
Cloud jump up and see which, like a lookout.
So you kind of
What's that?
jump and jump.
And see which kind of get a view.
Okay, so the stockade rests on top of an earthen mound, so it's up higher than that, but you,
Cloud jumping boots.
yeah, go ahead and roll an acrobatics. Go ahead and roll an acrobatics.
Wolfram, can you send your bird up too?
We've got
I could have, but I think I've already made my choice.
19.
19.
Unless someone
You
convinces me otherwise.
see, roll. Okay, so you get high enough where you can kind of see over the stockade. Roll a perception check as you look into
16.
16. As you look, you see that at the front gate there seems to be a long road that leads towards the center of the town, though you can't quite see towards the center, what's in the center, though there are several crumpled buildings along the way. You do see some what look like apparitions, ghostly apparitions throughout. As you look closer to the tower, you see that there is a smaller road that kind of leads along the stockade, and there is a breach in the stockade further down closer to the tower that you could also take that would give you much quicker access if you cared to do that.
I explained what I saw to everybody else.
Whoa.
So, I think avoiding ghosts for as long as possible is a good thing. And we have lots of people here who can see, and animals as well, that can see things before we are usually seen. So going on the outside might be the safest of options.
Wolfram pivots and starts walking along the wall.
Okay.
All right,
Towards the
let's go.
gap this time.
All right. Well, yes, I like your plan. It's and I agree, and I concur, and therefore I say we do what you believe is the best, and go ahead and lead the way.
All right,
I'm gonna gag him.
we have to.
Yep.
Well, and he snaps his fingers and turns invisible.
No.
I will talk. You can listen, and you'll make your way forward.
It
All
would be
right.
really unfortunate if something happened to him in the tower. That's all I'm going to say. But here we are.
Yes, that would be unfortunate.
So,
Yes, it
I'm
would
gonna
be.
follow Yanni.
yeah, I'm gonna
Same.
go. Are we going
So
stealthy,
your
quiet,
order
right?
is Yanni,
Stealthy, quiet, and
Morthos.
Morthos.
hey, Birdman, can we send the bird up to
Do we have to go one by one, or is it?
or ahead of us at least?
I'm just putting this just in terms of your general.
Alright. So I will say, okay, Nevermore, it's finally your turn. Last time he killed you, this time he's asking you to do work for him. You can never tell what these people.
well.
Go ahead, check it out.
Nevermore flies about. Go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
38.
Come on.
Oh no, this is
This
the
is
birds.
Nevermore. It's slightly different.
27.
Rather than the auto 34.
13.
Ooh.
So as Nevermore does a brief circle of the ruins, you do see several ghostly apparitions throughout. You do see what look to be some buildings still intact with large destruction and damage to the buildings. Some of them look to be converted to layers of some sort, of nesting places or of homes for something very large and dangerous. The mines look to be occupied, and the old dock house seems to have trails that go into the swamp and come back out. The temple of Palor / Lathander seems to have activity inside, but mostly what you see are the ghosts all throughout. And they all actually are, most of them, there are some that are civilians, but many of them look like guards. Many of them have the insignia of a sun on their chest, and they just are kind of looking around as if they're still on watch. And you see that the breach in the stockade will allow for a dash to the tower. There is a door at the front. You can't tell if it's locked
Alright, Gal, you're up.
And there is debris and broken buildings directly in front of the breach, but nothing that you can't get through. There are, however, several ghosts in that vicinity. So it would require you to either move stealthily through or to seek to dash through as quickly as possible to get in the tower. Interestingly, you don't see any ghosts immediately around the tower.
Interesting.
It seems devoid of an undead presence.
That never means a good thing.
Nope. I think we gotta stay quiet.
You have that axe ready.
I do.
So yes, my recommendation as the leader of our troop would be to avoid all conflict, if possible, until we get into the tower. I'm happy to run,
Any ideas
Yeah.
on how to get in the tower?
or perhaps even just, bamf ahead. I can do that,
Yeah, I don't understand why you made yourself invisible and didn't help out the rest of us.
Oh, well, I can only concentrate on, one person at a time.
Would it?
I don't believe you. A minimum of 2.
That
I
would
bet.
that would
I
require
bet you could do 2.
that would require more arcane energy that I'm willing to part with at this time.
Would you mind making Morthos invisible so we can get the tower door open?
You're right. He's
I-
not making it out of this.
Yeah, you
I would mind,
I
because
will.
then I could not be invisible.
I do
So
not need it. I can get to the door. I will open the door. If you guys want to dash behind me to get in.
Stealth.
I think stealth is still.
That is what I mean. But let me open the door
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Nevermore, come here, buddy.
And I will merge with Nevermore and
Okay, so you merge
Fly
into
to
the
the tower.
oh, that is quite handy. Can you teach me that?
he's gone.
I'll take that as a yes.
I'll keep flying, waiting for Morthos.
So I'm going to attempt to get to the door in
Okay.
stealth.
Go ahead and roll your
Come on,
stealth
baby.
check as you go through the ruins, trying to dash between
I created.
broken.
That's a 32.
As you dash between broken ruins,
This is my favorite.
you see a ghost that is kind of floating past. You quickly rush up and put your back against the ruin and look around. Just as it turns its face, you duck behind. As another ghost comes into view and goes past, you wheel around to a small little alley that was between the houses. It's just down to foundations now, and you see about a 50-foot lane, and you sprint forward just as another ghost comes around the other side of the ruin, and you just get your back up against the ruin in time as it looks in the direction that you just came from. As it moves past, you whirl around again, and you
Mr.
get
Bean.
there's a small kind of like foot wall which has been destroyed, but was formerly around the entire tower. You jump over and quickly duck down beside as another ghost kind of turns its eye in your direction. You've now seen 4 different ghosts that are all kind of just wandering and meandering about these ruins. As you turn and look at the tower door, you see that it is a single slab of this white marble, but that there is a handle mechanism that is there. And there is a keyhole underneath it.
Do I see him?
You are flying up ahead as he's bobbing and weaving and jostling, and you're just kind of flying overwatch as he has avoided all of the ghosts.
So I see that he made it, and we've noticed that no ghosts have come around the tower.
Correct.
I'm gonna go down with you.
But
Okay.
to make a perception check for traps all around the door.
Okay, roll perception.
You're so smart.
I know. That'd be a 26.
I would have just turned the knob. No, you missed this spot right here.
You rolled a
26.
6. Yep. You don't see that it's trapped at all. However, it is locked.
And then I will attempt to pick it.
You go up to the door. As you both kind of emerge from behind the wall, all 4 of the ghosts turn to you.
Oh, good.
And they immediately rush forward. And as they rush forward, intent on doing you harm, they rush up against a barrier of light that immediately emits in the same circle around the tower as the wall, as the tower itself kind of shimmers with light, and it repels them. They stop for a moment, and they all just watch you intently.
I turn to Morthos.
So, I do not believe they can get in. I would like to try something. Why don't you go back to the group and tell them to run, but give me a couple of seconds. I'm going to play around with the ghosts.
I like your style.
And I'm literally going to go right to the barrier and kind of run in and out, forth, and try to take their attention away from where they are all going to be
Okay,
dashing
and
around.
I would like you to roll a acrobatics check as you seek to kind of draw their attention away.
Antagonize.
Acrobatics. Whew, thank God I'm really good at that. 21.
So as you jump out, they all shift after you, and there, for the time being, doesn't seem to be any ghosts in the path of the tower.
Cool. I'll run
Get back to us,
stealthily.
You see him kind of circle back
All right. You see what's happening over there?
as his form reemerges.
That'll never get old. That's so cool.
Well, our friend, our Morthos friend, our friend Morthos is pretty awesome, and I think he's making a distraction for us. Ready? 1, 2, go!
Hey, Gal, you think you can make it? You slow, fast?
We're trying to keep it down.
Already on the way!
Okay.
Okay,
And
let's
we're
run.
dashing.
I'll fly over.
And you hear
Definitely
a as there's a invisible kind of flash as he just kind of misty steps forward.
I hate that guy as we're running.
And
I'm definitely gonna let him
Seriously. I hope he's your first kill.
I need the 4 of you to, well, are you running or flying?
Oh, I'm flying back.
Okay, so the 3 of you then to roll athletics checks as you dash forward.
Oh! Athletics?
Yep.
Oop, that didn't.
18.
15.
I trip a lot. 8.
8. Okay, so Yanni and Eli, you rush ahead. Sola, you trip over the rubble, unable to clear your steps.
Agile one out of all of us.
And
Athletics,
as you do
athletics.
so, you fall into the broken remains of one of the houses. And you take 6 piercing damage as a piece of rusted metal jabs and gashes through your calf. You wrench your leg out and make your way in. Morthos, I need you to roll one more acrobatics check as you continue.
Come on.
Critted.
Yes!
So, 32.
Bless you.
And so you're just toying with them as you're just kind of like,
You can get me. No,
you're
you
in,
No,
and you're
you
back,
can't. I will be in.
and they try,
Did we see him do that?
and you're just frustrating them, and they're getting visibly angry with you, but they can't do anything to you. As the party joins you, you see Sola's leg is bleeding, as she has taken a little bit of damage, but otherwise you are at the threshold of the door, and you seek to unlock it.
I do. 16.
16. With a click, the door swings open, and before you is a foyer area.
Foyer.
A foyer. It is long unused. The furniture that was here has been shredded and destroyed. the hearth that you can imagine a warm fire, containing a warm fire, has just soot and ash. There are cracks in the stone floor. There is a spiral stairway that kind of winds its way around to a higher level. There are shredded pictures on the wall of what look to be a mountain, a solitary mountain, majestic in its form. And another is a forest that stretches as far as the eye can see of towering trees. Another is a image of what can only be described as a giant mechanical city. All of these things strike you as interesting and unique, but there are several that have been shredded and you can't quite make out what they are. You all take this in from outside the door, but Morthos, you see this most clearly. Otherwise, there's no one on the first floor.
So before I walk in, I'd like to make another perception check to see if there are any floor tiles that look like they would be able to be pressed or
Okay,
wired.
so this is on perception. This would be investigation.
Investigation.
Go ahead.
That works even better. 26.
So
That's insane.
as you look in, you do notice that right in the middle of the entryway, about 2 feet in, there is a panel that is most certainly trapped. It would require you to jump over, or you could try to disconnect it.
Guys, there is a trap here. I'm going to attempt to disarm it.
Okay, go ahead and roll your thieves' tools.
Not good. 14.
14.
14.
As you go to use your thieves' tools on the floor trap, you are able to click it off, but not as a residual bout of force energy backfires into you, and you take 5 force damage.
All right. Better him than me.
But the trap is now disarmed.
That one hurt.
Thanks, man.
You see the stairs that go up.
I think we are okay. I think you guys can come in now.
Alright, so I'll go first.
You all make your way in. You all see this room. Is there anything that the rest of you wish to do?
I mean,
These pictures are rather intriguing.
yeah, I would
Okay.
love to look at the pictures. Wolfram's kind of assuming they're visions of planes that he's seen from that portal. Right?
Yep.
Go ahead and roll investigation checks.
Everybody?
Well, Wolfram and Eli, you can each roll individually, or one of you can roll with advantage.
I'm a +7.
I already rolled one, so I won't tell you.
Okay, I'm gonna roll, but your face said it wasn't good.
I get
Unnatural 20.
Okay?
18.
18. They are, in fact, images of the plains. One of them is an image of Mount Celestia. One of them
I think I went there.
One of them is an image of Mechanus. One of them is an image of Arborea, a realm of forests and trees. One of them is an image of the elemental planes. It's more of a map or a depiction than an actual artistic rendering of the planes themselves, as you have the elemental plane of fire melding with the elemental plane of earth, which melds with the elemental plane of water and wind. They all kind of
Heart.
heart is at the center,
Ah.
completely useless. And
Captain Planet.
and in between where they merge, you see mud and soot and ash and ice. The Frostfell is depicted. You see one realm called Bator with layers that are in a reverse triangular pattern that have 9 layers to them.
Ooh.
You see another that is referred to as Asheron. And this is exactly what you see.
Whoa.
And this one in particular strikes you as it's actually slightly glowing. And it depicts a void, a void with thousands and thousands of cubes, hexagons, decagons, all kinds of different shapes that are massive in size. And on these shapes, as you can see different almost zoomed in depictions, it shows fields of battle and cities and caverns, and each one of them containing its own little world almost. And underneath, or at the top, you see the kind of the title of it. Get that down there as Asheron, and underneath it you see a little inscription: the realm of endless war. And it strikes you as a place that, of course, is not very appealing, but it stands out amidst the rest because it is aglow. Someone can roll a history check on Asheron if they care to.
Okay.
I'm only just beginning to learn about this thing.
Do I have any advantage to that roll?
You do not.
Okay. 13.
13. In your studies, in your time as a monster hunter,
It's falling down.
you have heard of Asheron. The only thing that you know is that it is the home of it's a plane where there is
The what?
constant war, constant battle, and it's known to be connected to, in the way that the planes are constructed or theorized to be constructed, it's connected to Baator, otherwise known as the Nine Hells, and it's connected to Mechanus. In fact, it is between the two of them in the order of the paintings.
So it's Baator, Asheron, Mechanus.
Correct. And you know that Baator is a place of lawful evil, and you know that the Mechanus is a place that is lawfully neutral in terms of its general acclimatization, in terms of its leanings. Asheron is lawful as well, somewhere between neutral and evil. It's not necessarily evil.
Neutral light.
It's a tinge towards the in between neutral and evil, but it is not necessarily always evil. The population, however, is what is most unique about it, and it is primarily populated by orcs, goblinoids, and other humanoid races that are looked down upon by the normal races of elves, men, dwarves, halflings. Duragar live there as well. It's even said that there may be some drow
Which one?
in Asheron.
Asheron.
Oh.
There are these creatures reside there because this is also the dwelling place of several of their deities. Grumpsh makes his realm here in Asheron, as well as the goblin gods like Magublia.
You're gonna meet him. I bet he's a dainty voice.
And so this is...
You trying to explain all this to us?
Yes.
Whoa. This is a deep little poster here.
It is indeed.
It's too bad Yaga missed this.
And the one that is glowing is the one with the orcs. Is that correct?
Yep, orcs, goblinoids, yep, and other
Humanoid races
monstrous,
that people don't like.
monstrous
Isn't that
humans.
what the guards out front said they encountered?
Oh yes, hobgoblins.
Goblins. Yep.
Is it possible that
Interesting.
this is somehow a portal maybe to that realm?
Open, and maybe it shifts because they said it's always something different. Maybe it's just
Going from
yep. Which begs the question is why was it left open?
Which is precisely what we will find out.
As this invisible voice speaks up behind you.
Yes, this is most exciting.
He scares me and I elbow him in the face.
He's not close to you.
Yes,
Most fascinating. In fact, the voice, it comes from in front of you directly next to a painting.
well, I think that we should probably make our way upstairs then. What do you think? Yes.
You first.
I think we should go quietly.
I agree. Excellent. Morthos.
I will make my way up the stairs.
Wait. Don't take orders from him.
Oh, I'm not. I
Okay.
don't care what he says. I just want to go up the stairs.
Morthos.
But I would like to make an investigation check as I walk up the steps.
Roll your investigation.
Also, how tall was this tower before we got to it?
It was about 150 feet up.
15 feet. And this room is?
This room is about, it's a vaulted ceiling, which now as you look, it's clearly magically constructed because when you look up, you see stars.
Oh.
It's like a constellations above you. There's no ceiling, it's just space.
22 for investigation.
As you look at the stairs in front of you, you see that about halfway up, there is a trapped stair that has a slit opening and a pressure plate that seemingly would release whatever is in that slit. You surmise a blade of some sort, something of that nature, that is meant to decapitate at the ankles and send people down.
All right.
And as you see, you do see blood. You do see blood stains on the stairs, on that stair.
Well, I will attempt to stay head level below that, and I will cast Mage Hand and attempt to disarm it.
Okay, roll your lockpicking.
Ooh, that one's much better. That would be a 28.
28. With your mage hand at the ready, you, with ease, disconnect the mechanism, and you feel that the trap has been rendered inert.
I will continue on the stair, going up, checking as I go.
So you all traverse the stairs, and it's just a loop up. Stair after stair after stair after stair.
Quads are burning.
After stair after stair after stair. This is a lot farther than it looked like. And as you continue up, you finally get to a place where above you, you see a doorway. And there's a bit of a glowing light coming through. And that's where we're going to pick up our adventure next week. All right. So, we are going to do our final giveaway now for our Black Dragon, as we got the subs necessary to do that. So thank you for that. And if you would like to participate in this giveaway, then type in exclamation point. What do I want to say it? exclamation point gal, G-A-L, exclamation point gal. And you can have a chance of winning this black dragon, which are super cool. We've got a couple of them out already, and it'll be fun to give this guy out tonight. So type in exclamation point gal, and we will get this black dragon out to you. As the party approaches the top of the tower that is glowing with signs of Acheron. All right.
Does that say the hopping tower?
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of that.
The
spot
hopping
on this
tower.
board here.
I wonder if that's what we're in.
All right, well, thank you guys for sticking around with us and enjoying this adventure. We certainly would appreciate if you continue to come around, win some minis, and go on this thrilling ride with us. We had some heavy role-playing today, which is always good to mix it up with some stuff like that. And next week, I promise you, we will be back into some action.
It's coming.
It is coming, and hopefully we will have our dwarf and our hobgoblin back in the saddle
That'll be good.
with us next week. But we would certainly appreciate if you shared the show. Tell your friends that like D&D, and we would love to share this with them as well. And we are so thankful for those of you who are here week in and week out enjoying the show with us. So it is a delight to tell the story with you guys.
All past episodes are on YouTube as well.
Everything,
Every single one.
Everyone's up on YouTube, all 55 episodes, and each one is typically between 2.5 and 3.5 hours. There are some that go longer, a few that go shorter,
It's
but
like 10,000 hours of content.
You know.
Don't check my math.
fun times.
I handed
Fun
out
times.
5 gold.
That make you an expert.
Yeah.
So, with that, we certainly hope to see you next Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern here on Twitch as we continue to loot, die, and repeat.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
Have a good night, everybody. Cheers.